And we're live. Welcome into Cheap Seat Sports streaming, watch along stream of the Kraken in St. Louis taking on the St. Louis Blues. Kraken on a 7-game losing streak, so yeah, it could be better for the Kraken. Looking to break that one tonight. Blues, the fourth best team by win percentage at home in the NHL, although the Kraken have already faced the second and third best in the previous two games on this road trip, so at least that's nothing new as far as teams that play well at home. Yeah, we'll see if they can pull this one off and maybe get an upset win. I don't know. Obviously, this would have been the homecoming for Jaden Schwartz. He's still out with injury for another 4 to 6 weeks, somewhere in there, 3 to 6 weeks. Vince Dunn, though, does look like he's in the lineup, so he'll be playing tonight, getting his revenge game, the player that the Kraken took from the Blues in the expansion draft. So at least one of the old ex-Blues gets to play against their team, and we're just waiting for another 10 minutes until puck drop and hanging out until then. So if you guys got any questions, I see Connor's in here. Hello, Connor. Appreciate the first chat up in there. Let's see if we can get a few more people going in here. KJ Bren, let's go, indeed. Let's go, indeed. Kraken, come on. Underdogs. Seattle sports fans are used to cheering for underdogs, at least with the Mariners anyway, so. Or I guess the Seahawks as well this year, but yeah, not a great year for the Seahawks. Not a great year for the Seahawks at all. But that's all right. We got some drinks to get us through the game. Watch it together, commiserate together, or celebrate together, depending on how this game ends up going. But if you guys, again, obviously, as always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave those down there and get this game going here in about 8 minutes. I'm sure puck drop will be a little bit after that, but hopefully the stream will start up here in about 8 minutes. Obviously, as always, not able to stream the game itself on here for all sorts of copywriting reasons, so you'll have to find a way to watch that either through Root Sports or ESPN Plus or whatever other options you find out there to watch the game separately. So we'll just do a watch along here, and then a little bit of a stream delay. Again, as always, if you've been around these streams before, you'll know or probably any stream you'll know there's a little bit of a stream delay between when I'm talking and when you're actually seeing what I'm saying, as well as the stream delay between what cable usually sees and what's actually streamed on like ESPN Plus, for example. So you may have a chance to see what's happening and then see my reaction to it 45 seconds to a minute later. But I don't know, maybe that'll be fun. Yeah, let's see if the Kraken can't get a win. Do you know how any of the Kraken players feel about being yeeted off their teams to go to the Kraken? I mean, most of them, they're not going to really, unload their heart or their truest feelings, but most of them, I'm sure, feel a little frustrated, maybe some understanding, but I'm sure frustrated that they, most players are going to come to their own defense, if you know what I mean. So, they feel like they probably should have been protected, and they weren't protected, obviously, so then they got picked, and a lot of them, especially the more veteran guys, might understand why they weren't protected. In Vince Dunn's case, I think he might have been a little frustrated just because there was definitely some decisions the Blues had to make, and they decided not to protect him and go their ways. So, I think for the most part, they were all, at least at the start of the season, all coming in just excited for a new opportunity, and especially some of the guys that were maybe lower down on the depth chart and not surprised that they were left exposed and picked by the Kraken. Those guys came in looking for more of an opportunity and more of a chance to make their way in the NHL and maybe play higher up on a roster than they would have had had a chance to otherwise. Jared McCann obviously is a guy that's talked about that and had a great season for the Kraken, and has really admitted that a lot of that is just because he has gotten more chances in Seattle than he was getting or would have gotten in Pittsburgh or anywhere else that he's played. So yeah, there's definitely some guys that just they're frustrated, and they like any player, regardless of if it's expansion or if they got traded or even if they leave in free agency. The first time you play against your old team, every guy wants to really show that they should have been more heavily prioritized to that team. They want to play extra well to show that front office what they're missing, as well as just it's fun to play against your buddies and your friends. And again, all these guys that they're coming over from, or they're playing against an old team, they're playing against the guys that they spent at least one, maybe more than that, years playing alongside. So it's always good to have that little extra motivation to play against your friends as well. So sure, there's some of that. As far as how they're feeling during the losing streak, yeah, I think they're definitely frustrated. I know McCann after the game said that he said enough's enough, and they've got to figure out how to get this turned around, which is definitely true. I know they all believe that they're a better team than what their record says, and I agree that they've played for the most part better than what their record has shown. But the record is the way it is, and they've not gotten on the winning side of things nearly enough. So see if that can start to get turned around. Maybe this will be the first game of a 10-game winning streak. Maybe something like that. You know what? What the heck? This is going to be the start of a 10-game winning streak. Let's look at it that way, right? This is it. First of 10 tonight. Chris Drieger wrote a great piece about being excited for the Kraken called something like, I think is what you're going for. That I've been waiting my whole life for the Kraken. That's kind of funny. Good to know. I didn't see that. I'll have to look for. I saw someone's after the expansion draft. I think maybe it was Geo or someone. I can't remember that. I saw someone's piece talking about being excited for new opportunities with the Kraken. So I'm here taking a nap maybe and watching Batman and checking on YouTube. Hey, appreciate you being here regardless of how invested you are in each game or even the stream. Just having people in the stream helps it out, so that's always good. You can always hit that little thumbs up button that is annoying that I have to, every YouTuber says it, or every person on YouTube that ever makes a video but it helps the channel, helps it get more views, so that's why. Otherwise, I wouldn't bother saying anything about it, but appreciate you being here. What Batman are you watching, though? Gotta know which Batman you're watching there, Sean. If it's like one of the original trilogy, what's up, Ryan? Or not the original, but like the DC Batman Returns, that whole thing, Dark Knight Rises. Those three are great movies and absolutely worth watching. If it's like Batman versus Superman, I'd rather watch the Kraken lose 5-0. Win streak hype, yeah, let's go. How's my son? He's doing good. He's upstairs, making noises, but they don't sound like sad noises, so that's always good. Or maybe upset noises is probably more what we're happy. I mean, we're happy about neither one, but Michael Keaton. Okay. I just watched Eternals today because I hadn't seen it on Disney Plus. It was okay. Just kind of what I was expecting going in. The Celestials are kind of cool, but yeah, it was not anything special as a movie. I'll definitely say that. Not one of Marvel's best. Danny DeVito and Arnold are some of my favorites. All right, well, hopefully this stream is starting up here soon in the next minute or so. See if check it here on Twitter, see if we know who's starting in net. I've been not keeping track of that as closely as I could have been so far today. Let's see. Congrats, Jordan Eberle. I'm being named first. Oh, Jordan Eberle named to the All-Star team. How about that? So Jordan Eberle is the first Kraken All-Star. I assume that means he's probably the only one. Which, like, I think McCann will get. I could see McCann getting there. He just kind of like Eberle had the strong start to the season, and then McCann kind of came on later. So I don't know if that's too loud. Hold on, one second. Give me a second. I'm just gonna make sure this TV isn't too loud here. I might turn it down a little bit, but let me know if you can hear it too much. I obviously don't want to get this taken down because we're playing the audio of the game. Yeah, so in St. They're showing the schedule in St. Louis tonight. Then first meeting against the Kings in Seattle will come up here shortly. So that comes up on Friday. Oh boy, what's up, Paul? We need to win. Absolutely, you're definitely right. Definitely need a win here. I was just saying this is the first of 10. I guarantee it. I mean, maybe it's wishful thinking, but just speak it into existence, right? You just you just talk about it and it'll happen. That's the goal there. Your thoughts on goals saved above expected? Grubauer last place by a mile. Um, the thing with any goalie stat and goal, like, to be clear, goals saved above expected is, as far as a single stat goes, it's the best stat out there, I think, for goaltending. So there's that. But the thing with any goalie stat is all goalie stats are as they're almost as reflective of the team in front of the goalie as the goaltender itself. Like, I mean, everything that comes out of goaltender is really dependent on what's happening in front of them. So it's just really hard to put stats to a goaltender to like definitively say that they're good or bad. Obviously, like, you know, over time, if a goaltender, like, especially goes to multiple places and has issues or continues to have issues year over year, then at the very least, if a goaltender has issues over a few years, then it's just not working in that spot. So you know, move on from them at that point. With goals saved above expected, again, it's as good of a stat as we have for goaltenders as a single stat, but it's based off of expected goals, which are measured different in different places for one thing, but in most places they don't take into most places the way it's measured is basically shot location, and sometimes they'll throw in like how hard the shot was, whether the shot came off of a pass, and that kind of stuff, but the vast majority of it is just the distance that the shot covered and what angle it's coming at the net. So basically just boils down to shot location, and it won't take into account things like if there was a screen, like if the goaltender's screened, or if it's on a breakaway, or if it on a 3-on-2 like odd man chances. It doesn't take into account odd man chances. So if let's say there's a shot from the face-off dot, right? Then that if a player on a breakaway or like on a 2-on-1 takes a shot from the face-off dot, most expected goals and therefore goals above expected are going to see that the exact same as, say, if it's off of a face-off and there's 3 defensemen in front of it, one of them like is trying to lift the guy's stick as he's taking the shot, that kind of thing. So that was kind of my issue with people jumping on Grubauer at the start of the season, was that especially at the start of the season, the defense was awful in front of Grubauer, constantly letting up odd man chances and breakaways and stuff like that. So that's something that expected goals and, you know, expected goals above average, that kind of stuff has a really hard time accounting for. But now that we've, you know, it's gotten deeper in the season and we have more of a sample size to go off of, and the Kraken defense has had some games playing well in front of Grubauer. I still don't think it's all on Grubauer, but he's definitely part of the problem. I don't know that he necessarily, like, I don't think he's looked as bad as being as far in last place as he looks on like all those stats. I don't think he's looked that bad, and he's definitely had some games where he's looked good, but I mean, yeah, it's definitely not been his season, and I'm not trying to make the argument that Grubauer's been good, by any stretch of the imagination. Just that it's not like the Kraken. I'm just saying the Kraken are not losing just because it's Grubauer, and I think that is pretty obvious when you also put Drieger, who played really well last year in Florida, and Decord, who has played well for a young goaltender. Both of them have had plenty of issues of their own behind Seattle's defense. So yeah, when it's more than one goaltender having the same issues, it's probably not just the goaltending. You know what I mean? So that's probably a bit of a long-winded response, but yeah, it's basically it boils down to like TLDR. Goals above expected it's the best we have for goaltending right now. It's just hard to really put definitive stats on goaltending because of the nature of the position. Yes, thank you. People on Twitter don't understand that. Yeah, I mean, it is, again, it's hard because unless you're watching the games consistently, stats are what you have to go off of. So, I mean, again, I can't watch every game of every team or anything like that. I'm not the hockey guy, right? I can't watch parts of every single NHL game. So, I think I have a pretty good grasp on what's going on with the Kraken and where different players are at this point in the season for them. But as far as other teams outside of maybe like the Avalanche or a couple other teams that I go out of my way to watch, I'm pretty much at the mercy of the stats as well as the couple of games the Kraken might play against them. So, some of it is just that you have to watch the games in order to really get, that the eye test, I guess is what you would call it, to see if the stats are really backed up by what you're actually watching. But yeah, it's also something that's like, it's hard to explain in, sorry, things falling over on my desk. It's something that's hard to explain in detail, right? It's hard to explain advanced stats and the inner workings of advanced stats in a tweet, right? There's just not enough characters, even with the extra characters. So yeah, when you get just small thoughts like Twitter allows, it's hard to really have anything other than the hot take here and there of just sticking with the stats and saying Grubauer's terrible. Oh, you can hear the stream back in the background. All right, I'll turn that down a little bit more. Appreciate the heads up. Yeah, I mean, a little bit's probably okay, but if it's clear in the background. Again, I don't know that this is going to be a big enough stream for them to catch on and take it down or anything like that, but just better play it safe than sorry. All right, so we got Drieger in net for the Kraken, obviously, since Grubauer played last night. So we'll see how Drieger does tonight. Grubauer had a bit of a rough night last night. Had some good saves, but yeah, definitely a couple that he'd probably... One lucky bounce, but a couple where he'd probably like to be positioned a little bit better than he was on a couple of those. Both the Pavelski goals, I think he was kind of out of position on those. All right, here we go. Game getting started. And Blues got possession into the Kraken zone. O'Reilly's shot, and first shot is saved by Drieger, so that's a good sign. We're 20 seconds into the game, and the first shot was saved. Alfred would have been so fired for letting Vicky Vale into the Batcave. Hey, I have the same remote. Yeah, it's a handy little remote. Handy little keeps all the basically just all the buttons you want and not all the extra stuff. Since again, since we don't have cable, there's not really a need for all the extra buttons that are on the typical cable remote. It being smaller though does make it easier to lose. I'll say that. Puck still stuck in the Seattle zone. Couldn't get it cleared out. There we go. Yarncroak manages to get it out. Oh! Okay. I thought he was going to try and go for that. I haven't seen the lines yet, so we're gonna figure out the lines as this goes. Let's see, Donato and Appleton on a line. Let's say Lauzon's in there. Lauzon's in there with Gio. That's an interesting pairing. Ooh, that one got past Rieger, but it was wide, so that's... Oh, Appleton missed the net. Damn. I feel like the Kraken have been missing... I don't know, let me know if you guys think differently, but it seems like the Kraken have been... Like, their shots don't hit the net very, very much. Which, like, taking shots is great, but it, like... It doesn't matter if the goaltender never sees it if it doesn't go on net, so... What's in the bottle? It's Deschutes Obsidian Stout, which is one of my favorites. I do like IPAs a lot, but in wintertime, love my stouts, especially stouts, but stouts and porters in the winter, so... Dark beer and hockey go well together. Scott drinking on stream. Hey, you know what? The way the season's going, you gotta do something, right? Oh, yeah, Sean. I agree, Sean. So Sean's saying that he doesn't like that the Kraken Twitter doesn't post the full lineups, just the starters. Yeah, I agree. There's a like there's definitely some like some of the media people that like shoot, what's his name? Spacing on names, but like I met him a couple of times, so I should know his name. But oh, Ryan Clark, that's what I was. Ryan Clark, the athletic guy, he'll post like Ryan Clark, the Sound of Hockey guys. I know the Emerald City Hockey guys. RJ is always trying to like they post what they think the lineup is going to be, you know, coming up towards game time based on morning skates and stuff like that. So, oh, good defense there. Good job, Blackwell, break up that pass. But yeah, it's basically like, you know, doing... And usually you can get it pretty accurate by seeing who's out on morning skate, who's out in warm-ups and that kind of stuff, but yeah, you know, you don't really know until they actually go out on the ice. Like, we've seen, like, Borgen's come out, you know, being at a couple of games, we've seen, like, Borgen come out for the warm-up skate, but then not actually play, so it's sometimes hard to tell for sure what the lines and pairings are going to be. Oh, stream having some issues. There's a lot of chaos in front of that net. Drieger gets his stick back. That's a good thing. And we got a whistle. And Gio going to the box for slashing. So, yep, we go early penalty kill for the Kraken. Yeah, it's a bit of a soft slashing call, but it's pretty textbook when you hit the hands of the opposing player with the stick, even if it's not particularly hard like that. That's pretty, might be soft, but it's pretty textbook slashing. Yeah, the Kraken penalty kill has been letting up some goals lately, slipping in the standings. They were top half for a little while, but down to 24th now on the penalty kill. Okay, so they decide Donskoy gets hit right in the back by a guy he can't see. No puck nowhere near him, and no penalty called. So, guess they killed off a few more seconds and some offsides, but that definitely could have been a penalty, especially with them calling that kind of softer slashing. You know, whatever. They're not going to call. They're not going to call everything, right? So it wasn't a blatant miss, I don't think, or anything like that. Good job getting it out. Good kill so far. Let's not jinx it though. Knock on wood, right? Shot misses. That's good. Back around for Kairu. Nice. Oh no, he turned it over. Ooh. I'll have to see that again. That almost looked like that could have been a tripping on whoever that was for the Seattle. That was a bad turnover that barely got shut down by... Yeah, we'll have to see. Maybe they'll show it again. I don't know if they'll show it again, but that definitely... Live, that looks like it could have been tripping. Oh, goes wide. Get it out. Oh. Woo. That was a very dangerous chance, and they... Just like we talked about Seattle missing the net, the Blues just missed the net there on... Oh! Steals it, Blackwell! Oh, there's another guy there. Okay. Just more time killed. That's good. Donskoy just pinched along the boards. Alright, they don't have a lot of time left on this power play here. Oh, don't lose O'Reilly. Don't lose O'Reilly. Excellent. Well killed off. Sounds like the refs need to watch NHL 101. Yeah, I mean, it's... Not that it's going to stop any fans from complaining about it, but it's a very fast game. They're gonna miss things in every game. Like, basically, as long as it's the ones where it's very, very blatant, or where there's like, you get the replay and there's like a ref staring right at the play and they don't call something pretty obvious. Those are the ones that are frustrating. Or, you know, like last year when you hear a ref on a hot mic say that they had to get a makeup call. That's also pretty frustrating. There we go. Get it back in possession. Johansson. Kraken will get a change. Gotta try New Holland's Dragon Milk. That sounds good. Let's go, Kraken. Beat the St. Louis Blues. Appreciate it, Riley. Good to see you. Fully cheering for the Kraken this time. I suppose it's my fault for streaming the Golden Knights games. Putting you in a bad spot on those ones. All the way behind the Kraken against the Blues, though. Gotta like it. Peddler Brewing Skull Kraken Stout. I don't think I've had that one. Is that local to Seattle, Paul? That sounds like it is. I think Peddler's local, right? There's so many breweries around Seattle, it's hard to keep track of all of them. But hey, if it's got Kraken in the name and it's a stout, yeah, I'm definitely trying that if I can find it. Hope my Christmas was good. Yeah, it absolutely was. Thanks, Riley. Hope yours was as well. Oh, that was... Woo! He almost did not get back to that net in time. Is that Binnington? I actually didn't see who was in net for them. I assume it's Binnington. Almost did not get back into the net on time. Oh, turnover one way and then turnover right back the other way. Just happy for a good game against the Knights. Yeah, they have played the Knights well, even if it hasn't gone the Kraken's way in either one yet. Couple more chances in late March, early April. I think they play the Golden Knights in like back-to-back games, and like 2 games in 3 days against the Golden Knights in Seattle at the end of March and beginning of April. But yeah, Peddlers and Ballard. I thought so, but it's like I know it sounds familiar, but again, so many. Found it at Met Market, okay, or PCC. Keep that in mind. Maybe next time I'm at the arena, I'll go check it out on the way home. Oh, Eberle's shot goes high. Or wide or something. Missed the net. Drieger did not get all of that clear. That was a little bit nerve-wracking at first, but I think it was going wide anyway. Oh, oh, nice pick. Nice pick, Eberle. Oh, oh, and Donato skates, but the Blues have it. All right, well, good start to this game. Blues definitely have a few more chances, but the Kraken have gotten a couple good ones themselves. Of course, part of that for the Blues is having that power play, but... Oh, nice pick! 3-on-1, 3-on-2. Shot! Oh, shoot again! Oh! Oh, nice play, Donato. Donato's definitely one of the feel-good stories of the season. That was like a guy that they picked up as a free agent, like, kind of last chance... Probably like one of his last chances in the NHL. Just hadn't really worked out anywhere else he'd been. Oh, it's Husso that's in goal. Sorry, not Binnington. I said earlier. But yeah, Donato's played well for the Kraken. Certainly playing the best I think he's played at all in his career. So that's good to see. Nice pick. Oh, it tries to go 5-hole with it, then bounces out, and he couldn't quite get a handle on it. The Celtics have underrated jerseys coming from a Raptors fan. Yeah. I just tend to not... Oh! That was a... Wow! Woo! How did Drieger get back for that one? That deflected off of someone. They got to show that again. What happened? Yeah, that was just a redirect. He's going one way to save it and redirects, and he just sticks the glove right out and oh, and he's just sitting on the ice like, whoa, that was close. But yeah, I don't really like the Boston teams that like. I agree. I like the Celtics jerseys, especially because I like green as a color a lot. I don't think there's enough green in sports, but it's hard to get over the the Boston fan base. No offense if you're a Boston fan, but yeah, just a little bit too much winning of championships over the last couple of decades. Kind of went to the head of some of that fan base. Honestly, I hate to say it, but given the way this season is going, the M's might get more attention in March and April. Yeah, and like you said, given that the lockout ends, well, not good news on that front today. That was sounded like it wasn't unexpected news, but that the PA or the players did not like players and Players Association obviously did not like the offer given to them by the league, which obviously not a huge surprise there. But still waiting for a response from the PA and a counter offer, and yeah, this is going to go back and forth a couple of times before anything gets resolved. And it's going to come down to whether or not they're okay with very little or no preseason games or like spring training. If they're okay with no spring training, then maybe the season starts on time. But very skeptical that we're going to get a full spring training and a full season out of the MLB. Full season maybe, but not with spring training. We'll see. Of course, it's right as the M's are like starting to get, good too, right? Like they had the fun year last year, and then pick up a couple of free agents before the lockout starts, and then lockout happens, and here we are, hoping that the Mariners actually get to play next year. M's are fire most interesting team in town. Yeah, they're I would say at least the most interesting in a positive light in town. Obviously, there's still a lot of interest in the first season, or it being the first season for the Kraken, and all of the random Pete and Russ stuff that the media keeps trying to stir up with the Seahawks is, I mean, maybe interesting. Certainly not in the right ways though. So M's are definitely the bright spot, especially if you're not into WNBA. I mean, the Storm are still. Woo! Somebody lost an edge there. Is that Appleton? Yeah, I think so. It was either Appleton or Wimberg. I don't know which. Hate blackout games. Yeah, blackouts are annoying. Blackouts, I think, are eventually going to go away. Like, as cable slowly dies, RSNs will, I think, also eventually go with them, and then blackouts will probably, but it's going to take a while. There's a lot of TV deals and stuff that are still being made and still have to expire, so, I mean, we're still at least probably 10 years away from blackouts starting to die off. Certainly 5 years, at least 5 to 10 years before blackouts start to die off, I think. Unless, of course, people continue to find ways to make money with blackouts, in which case, never underestimate the greed of capitalism sometimes. Sorry, edgy comment there, but... Whoop! This is not a particularly cleanly played. It's definitely a little sloppy on both sides. Lots of shots missing the net. Ooh. That pass gets through. That's dangerous. There we go. Good thing there was no one there other than Susie to pick up that rebound. Oh, I really tried to get Johansson going to the net. I really tried to get Johansson going to the net there. That was close. Well, much better first period so far, I'll say that. Like, again, the Blues have... I'd say the Blues have slightly outplayed the Kraken so far, for sure, but the scoreboard is still 0-0, and especially after how last night's game went, we'll count that as a win. Oh, they'll end the drought this year. Like Hanny said, not if a win. Man, I love Mitch Haniger. Hope that guy's around as a Mariner for a while. Mitch Haniger's great. It was sad, but I was also kind of happy. Like, I was sad to see Seager retire and that he won't be playing. Like, he's not in baseball anymore. But it's kind of nice that he was a career Mariner. Like, it's always good to have those like really really solid, good long players like play for a long time for one team and then retire and not like spend the 1 or 2 years with a couple of other random teams before they eventually retire. So a deal will get done and there will be baseball. Yeah, I mean, a deal's going to get done. They're not... They have to recognize that long term there's just no money in losing regular season games. Like, if they start losing regular season games, then you start losing fans, and there's definitely something to be said about the losing the end of the 94 season lost a lot of fans, and baseball, I don't even think that's fully recovered from some of the lost fans that they had from that 94 issue. So yeah, I have no doubt that they'll play a regular season. I just don't know whether or not we'll see the spring training and at what point we'll be able to get back to free agency and some of those guys like Chris Bryant that are still out there. So yeah, I would be pretty surprised, especially after COVID, if they actually they actually allowed this, like either side allowed this to go to missing games. I mean, that's kind of, I mean, the players honestly have the most leverage there, right? Because, you know, not that the players want to miss games, but the owners have a lot more to lose by missing games than the players do. So, yeah, I'm sure they'll play the regular season. It's just spring training and free agency that are a bit of a question mark. Go Kraken, absolutely, Mary. Go Kraken indeed. Oh, come on, Blackwell. Oh, nice pass. Oh, Johansson put it wide. Oh, that was a nice shot. Well, nice opportunity at the very least. Diving pass by Blackwell. I thought Siegs would sign with Texas and play with Corey. That would have been kind of fun. Like, I hate the Rangers, so it would suck to see that happen with the Rangers, but it's always fun to watch brothers play for the same team. Oh! Oh! Nice defense. Nice defense. There you go. That was dangerous for a second. There was like 3 Blues to 1 Kraken in front of the net, but they managed to get back just in time to break up that puck, get a stick on it so they couldn't get a shot off. Scores! Is that Wenberg or Donato that scored? I thought that was Donato. Very nice. There we go. An early lead. Well, early. A first period lead. You don't see those too often for the Kraken. I guess it was Wenberg that put it in. All right, let's see this again. Around behind, Donato tries to spin it. Okay, so Donato tried to do the spinning wraparound again, and then it rebounds right out to Wenberg in the slot, and he buries it. All right. Very nice. Man, I don't know if that's a thing Donato, like, just learned how to do or has done a lot, but that's the second time in 2 periods going back to the Dallas game that he's tried one of those, like, 180 quick spinning wraparound shot tries. It almost turned into a goal at the last couple minutes of the game last night. Like, had that spinning wraparound, spinning the other way, but it rebounded out to Appleton, and then you just couldn't get it in. But let's go. All right, let's get the score changed up. I probably shouldn't be looking away in case of a quick response goal, but it's not the third period. They're not going to give up a quick goal. They only give up the quick response goals in the third period, right? Donato's going to try and shoot. Ah, he just waited a little bit too long. It's going to be a power play for Seattle. Yep. Is that Kyrou that gets penalized? All right, Wenberg get on the board. I will say I've been a little underwhelmed with Wenberg this season, but you know what? It gets on the board there, so we'll take it, right? Let's see, what's the contract they signed Wenberg to? Let me look at that up real quick. I know he was a free agent pickup. Let's see. I mean, I can even, hold on. Can even see here, let's see. So Wenberg is 3 years, $4.5 million. So we'll see Wenberg for a couple more years. Yeah, I mean, I think he's been again a little underwhelming this season, but you know, not every player is going to be great all the time. So I don't think he's played $4.5 million worth though. Definitely got paid for one good year and like the potential still there of the talent that he was supposed to have. So maybe a bit of a reach of a contract there, but oh well. Who scored again? Alex Wemberg scored. Donato wraparound from behind the net, rebounded out to Wemberg in the slot, and he got it in. So I don't know if was it just Donato that got the assist? Donato and Susi both get assists on that. So Wemberg's 4th goal of the season, Donato's 6th assist, and Susi's 7th assist. And Jordan Eberle, yeah, Jordan Eberle going to the... Jordan Eberle going to the All-Star game, just talking about it there on the broadcast. All right, Kyrou in the box, Seattle on the power play. 16th on the power play. Definitely bounced back pretty big since that terrible start to the season they had. Here we go. Eberle shot. Ooh. Oh, no. What a weird bounce off the boards. Couldn't get to McCann. McCann's definitely the guy that they want shooting. Yep, there he shoots. Oh, didn't get everything. Like, they definitely want McCann shooting, it seems like. He had 3 shots on that last power play. Oh! McCann! Oh! Oh, they almost had that same play that they scored on last night, just on the other side with Yarncroke out in the slot. That's the exact same play, just on the Eberle side this time, that they scored on last night with McCann, with Johansson standing on the line. It's Eberle to Johansson up to Yarncroke in the slot. He just fanned on it a bit. So definitely got a couple tricks up their sleeve on the power play now. And then they're going to get that out. Nope, can't get it out. McCann. Well defended. Now they'll get it out. Yeah, their sticks kind of get tangled there. I don't think you can really call that. Obviously, the fans are not going to be happy about it, but... Yeah, I mean, both of their stick, like, that was a mutually assured destruction there. He puts his stick in, yeah. He put his stick in between Gio's legs, like, that's... You can't put your stick and then trip the guy and then look for the tripping call yourself, like... Yeah, that was almost more tripping on St. Louis than it was on Seattle, but not that, yeah, I don't know. All right, 43 seconds left in the power play. It's been pretty decent power play so far. They've gotten a couple of chances, but just haven't gotten a lot to the net yet. All right, here's the second unit. See if they can get anything going. Wemberg on net, so we'll get a face-off. All right, let's see here. Wenny, yeah, that's like to call him. Here we go. Oh, that's true. Woo! They got that same passing play again, just with the second unit that time, and big save from Huso that kept that one out. Or Huso? I actually don't. I might have just butchered his name. I'm not sure. Huso? I think it's Uso, right? All right, power play killed off. Couple of good chances for the Kraken though. The best one definitely right there at the end. But they definitely into the Blues bench. They definitely have a play they're looking for there. Oh, I'm shaking the camera. That's my bad. Sorry about that. My bad. I was twitching my leg, shaking the camera apparently. Stop that. All right, later, Ryan. Thanks for hanging. Oh, you can only stream one thing at a time. Got it. That is fair. Appreciate you stopping in for a little bit. Sorry if you missed the goal there. Lol earthquake. Yeah, that was a self-imposed earthquake. Sorry, I didn't realize that was happening until I looked over at the the stream on the screen. There we go. Nice stop, Drieger. Bit of a rush chance there for O'Reilly. Woo! Almost got that into the 5-hole. All right, let's see. I saw something talking about jerseys up here earlier. I like the dark blue Hawks jerseys with the green. Don't know if that's the home or the away. That's the home. Yeah, I like the Seahawks jerseys a lot. I kind of wish that the numbers were like, I don't know. I think the design in the numbers, the weird little, I don't know, whatever feather kind of design that's in the numbers is a little bit much, but I don't know. I like the dark blue with that bright green. I like a lot. Definitely stands out. I'd much rather have something that stands out than just another team with like blue and red or something like that. And not like Kraken blue and red where it's like red is like a very, very accent color. I mean like Bills, Patriots. I actually like the Bills uniforms, but Patriots have one of the most... Oh, what a shot! Oh, Appleton's had some good shots in these last couple of games, but he just can't get one to go in. He at least has a goal, though, so, you know, you can't complain too much, at least around Donskoy. Oh, there you go. Nice play, Donato. Good D. Good back check. There we go. All right. Get out of the first with a lead. How about that? So Kraken end of the first with a 1-0 lead. Let's go. Oh, so they did give Dunn a little welcoming there before the game. That's kind of fun. Like, I don't think if Dunn left in free agency, I don't know that he would have gotten like a welcome back, Vince Dunn kind of thing. But it's like, oh, we lost you in expansion and we didn't want to lose you, so we're gonna do a welcome back thing. I mean, no disrespect to Dunn, but I don't think he had been in St. Louis quite long enough to warrant that. Like, if he had left in free agency to warrant that kind of a welcome back, right? But I don't know, maybe he still would have gotten it. Who knows? I definitely like Dunn in Seattle, so I'm glad he's here. Kraken logo is awesome. I completely agree. What was my team before the Kraken? Colorado Avalanche. Definitely, I definitely follow the Kraken more than I've ever followed any NHL team. But the Avalanche were definitely the team that I followed the most. Or Kraken, sorry. The Avalanche were definitely the team that I followed the most for the last 8 to 10 years before the Kraken started. As a kid, I was more of a Canucks fan. until they went to the Stanley Cup, and then everything that happened after they lost that Stanley Cup kind of turned me off of them. I still really liked the Sedins. I was a huge fan of the Sedins even after I kind of transitioned to more being an Avalanche fan, but mostly just biding time, waiting, and hoping Seattle would eventually get the team. And now that we have one, it's Kraken until there's no Kraken or no me. So yeah, great first period indeed. That was, we talked about the Kraken having issues in the first period after the R&R in that Dallas game, but definitely not the case here. They weathered the storm. I think the Blues came out pretty strong in that first period, and the Kraken weathered it and managed to score, get a power play, get some chances to make it 2-0, and weren't able to do that. But you know what? Not a bad period by any means. As far as first periods for the Kraken go, that was downright a great first period. What else we got here? Let's see. Do you think the Seahawks? Oh wait. Cesspool of a corrupt sport. Been getting worse every year. I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about there, Charles, but okay. Everyone's entitled to opinion. I don't know if you're talking about hockey, but I don't know. Let's see. Okay, do you like the Seahawks jerseys because they're blue and green, or do you like the blue and green because it's the Seahawks jersey? I mean, I like blue and green just because they're Seattle colors. I really like that Seattle has that was kind of like I knew that the Kraken were pretty upfront saying that they weren't going to be blue and green because of the Canucks right across the border and them probably being rivals, but yeah, I think um yeah, I just really like that Seattle kind of has like their colors, and it's definitely like blue. It's definitely blue first, and then green is the secondary, and the green changes around. Obviously, the Seahawks have their like bright green, where it used to be a little bit more of a Kelly green. The Mariners have their seafoam green, I think is what they call it. It's kind of more of a teal, and then the Kraken have they have their bright teal that's even more blue than the Mariner teal. It's got a little green in it for sure. Like if you look at the Seattle blue versus like the Blues blue, the Seattle like even the dark blue for Seattle's a little bit more green than that of the Blues, I think. So there's a little green in there. It's just definitely mixed in with a lot more blue. So I appreciate that most of the Seattle teams like they look like they look like they're all from the same place, if you know what I mean. So I guess that like when the Sonics come back, that would maybe be the exception because they're the only ones with yellow outside of the Mariners have the yellow for they use yellow every now and then from their old days of being blue and yellow, but I guess you can kind of say that with the like little bit of red in the Kraken. That's the only red really, but I don't know. I don't know. I do like blue and green, so I'm pulling for Donskoy. Me too. Especially as again someone that has been following the Avalanche for the last few years. Donskoy was like he was one of the guys I was really watching coming into the start of this season, and it's not exactly gone the way that I think anybody, including himself, would have liked it to go, but that's all right. He'll get some goals. I'm telling you, when he starts getting goals, they're gonna come in bunches, and it's gonna happen eventually. How much do you follow the Seahawks and Mariners? Pretty closely. I mean, because of this channel, I'd say I probably follow the Kraken a little closer than either the Seahawks or Mariners, but not a ton more, honestly. I think really the only thing that I follow more with the Kraken, just again because of the channel more than anything, is the like the minors and kind of the prospect pool, which I follow a bit with the Mariners, and obviously the Seahawks don't really have a prospect pool. They have the practice squad and all sorts of bench guys that don't get a ton of playing time. So there's a lot more like depth with that, and your prospect pool in football is pretty much travels with the team almost, you could say, in that way. But yeah, I follow all the Seattle sports pretty closely, and I want to do a little bit more Seahawks and Mariners stuff with the channel, maybe going forward eventually. But at least for now, you know, the Kraken are kind of the Kraken are definitely the heart of the channel, and that's where it's going to stay. So just figure out how to mix in some Seahawks and Mariners as time goes on around the Kraken stuff. I'm not gonna dial back on the Kraken to add other stuff, but if I can find some places to fit in a little, and I have a couple of times, like the video I did for the worst year in sports video. I've got some Sonics in there as well, even so. They're showing a Kraken and a Blues jersey with a couple of people. Both have Jaden Schwartz jerseys. Unfortunately, he is injured and not playing tonight. That's a bummer. Some Eberle highlights. I'm assuming this is because of the All-Star game. The Jordan Eberle hat trick night. Still the only hat trick in franchise history, and simpler times. Simpler times as a Kraken fan. That was right before that first 6-game losing streak. Yes. That was the game before they went to yeah, that was the game before they went to Arizona and started the 6-game losing streak against the worst team in the league. Fun. Huh. Jordan Eberle up there with longest break between All-Star appearances. He went to an All-Star game 10 years ago, and then he'll going back after 10 years. So apparently that's like tied for third most all time as far as biggest break. They're just showing some little kid hockey, I'm sure, during the intermission of the Blues game. Love Mariners, don't care about football. That's fair. I would say I'm definitely, I mean, at this point, Kraken first, but I've been more of a, I mean, the Mariners were kind of my first, and I've said this before, I think on streams and stuff, but the Mariners were my first sports love because I grew up in the Ken Griffey days. Um, but definitely over the last couple of decades, it's been more Seahawks than Mariners for me. Again, I still follow the Mariners season to season, but yeah, it's been more Seahawks than Mariners, I think, for obvious reasons over the last kind of 20 years. Not that I don't follow the Mariners. Still love the Mariners, but love the Seahawks as well. Do I follow the Sounders? No, not really. Soccer is not really for me. I've tried with soccer, and I didn't grow up with it, and it's just not interesting enough to watch for me. You know, my sister loves it. She didn't really grow up with it that much. I mean, she played it growing up, so I mean, she grew up with it more so than I did, but she likes it. But it's not for me. Just not enough going on. And I know, like, I say there's not enough going on in soccer as someone that watches a fair amount of baseball. But again, I grew up with baseball and watching Ken Griffey Jr. and playing baseball as a kid and all that. So yeah, not the same with soccer. Didn't grow up with it, so didn't really ever develop that appreciation for it that I think helps a lot anyway. Mariners World Series 2025, all for it. If the Mariners go to a World Series, I'm happy to wait till 2025 as long as it's gonna happen. Obviously, I'd love for it to happen sooner than that. 2022 sounds like a good year for it. Who's my basketball team? If I have one, I don't really have one. Yeah, I I thought of like in college. I got a little bit more into college basketball when I was in college, but so I thought about trying to pick a team and follow the NBA, but ultimately like none of the teams really intrigued me all that much. Like I'm not. I really don't. I will say that color schemes and jerseys definitely play a role in how much I like a team. Unless, like, if it's from Seattle, like the Kraken could have had the ugliest jerseys we'd ever seen in sports, and I'd still be a diehard fan of them because they're from Seattle. But outside Seattle, they need to have good-looking jerseys for me to really follow them. And I do not like black and red as a color combination. So I've just never been able to get into the Trailblazers, and that's kind of like, if you're gonna have a team after the Sonics left, that's kind of what it would be. So no, I don't follow the NBA. I'll watch some playoff games and some finals games. I definitely cheered for Durant when he was in. I cheered for Durant when he was in not Oklahoma. Oh God, no, never. I cheered for Durant when he was in Golden State with the Warriors because of how he left OKC, and I hate OKC more than any team in all of sports. So I guess if I had to say who my basketball team is, it's whoever's playing the Thunder any given night. And yeah, I'll always like Durant because of how he left the Thunder and then that he went and won a championship. So, which most people don't like Durant because of all that, but for me, because it was OKC that he did it to, absolutely love him for it. Legend. Also because he's always been, I think, not too secretive about the fact that he wishes the team had stayed in Seattle where he was drafted and not had to go play in OKC. But let's see here. Let's go Kraken. Absolutely, Riley. Let's go Kraken indeed. 1-0 lead. Getting started in the second here pretty soon. Getting started in the second. People getting back from their bathroom breaks or getting a little dinner maybe. Getting near to 6 o'clock here on the West Coast. Do you know what injury Schwartz has? Hand. I don't know specifically what with his hand, but he was going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Out 4 to 6 weeks as of about a week ago, because he was going to have to get hand surgery. I want to say it happened in the Vancouver game. He just it looked like he just fell weird, and yeah, I don't know. One of those things where you fall weird, stick out your hand, and yeah, don't really know how it happened or where in his hand it is, or if it's like a broken bone or a ligament thing. I don't know, but all we know is he's getting hand surgery, and so he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks. So we'll be without Schwartz for a little while here. I come back to the Kraken winning? Question mark. First game I've watched in about a month, and they're winning. Well, you know what? I swear, if you're the reason that they haven't been winning in this last month where they haven't played a lot of games, granted. So, I mean, if you haven't watched a game in about a month, there haven't been a lot of games to watch for one thing, but yeah, if you're the reason that they haven't been winning because you're not watching, you better start watching more games. I'm just kidding. Just kidding, but yep, they had a good first period for once, so let's see if they can keep that up through the second and third. It's just a 1-goal lead, so it's a bit precarious, but better to be up 1-0 than down 1-0, that's for sure. Major Eberle fan, yeah, I like Eberle too. Again, he's definitely a veteran player, so who knows how much longer he'll be around, but hopefully he's with the Kraken for a couple more years. And the way he's playing this year, I mean, he's definitely got plenty left in the tank, it seems like. So, yeah, definitely playing really well. And, I mean, even outside of how well he's been playing for the Kraken, the Islanders, I think, miss him pretty desperately because their scoring has been pretty abysmal without him, and some of that is definitely him coming off of the line he was on, and the fact that he was their leading scoring winger last season. Yeah, I think the Islanders definitely miss Eberle, and I don't like Eberle's not the reason for all of the Islanders' struggles this year, but I think he's probably more a part of it than they would like to admit, especially considering they lost him for free in the expansion draft. Yeah, I'm sure Islanders fans won't be too happy to see Eberle going to the All-Star game after how their season's going. Do I watch MMA? No, not really. I watched in college. One of my roommates watched MMA, so like every now and then I would like chip in for a pay-per-view to watch with people, just because like it's just fun to hang out with guys on a weekend and watch something. And but yeah, I've never been into MMA. Like I will say, like, Conor McGregor was kind of fun just because he was a very brash personality, and early on he was so good. There was, I mean, it's kind of fun to watch someone talk all that crap and then actually be able to back it up. So I didn't really ever go out of my way to watch McGregor. I would mostly just watch the highlights afterwards. But in general, no, I don't follow MMA. Any college b-ball, go Zags? Yes, go Zags indeed. I don't really follow college basketball until March Madness anyway, so. But absolutely, go Zags. All right, here we go. Start of the second. Puck in the Seattle end. And there we go. Getting out Eberle to Johansson. Into the corner. Blues up with it. Ooh, ref goes down. Oh, Eberle tries the shot right next to the net. Doesn't get it in. Shouldered down by Uso. Larson caught a little bit off. There we go. Kraken get it out. Is that going to be on net? It sure is going to be on net. No icing, but the Blues do have it. Good defense by Larson there. Get that puck right back. Oh, no! Oh, he missed it! Woo! He had the corner of the net. Oh, he had the corner of the net and he missed it. Thank goodness. Oh, Kraken dodge a bullet there. Oh, nice hit by Blackwell. Oh, and gets the... There we go. Larson. Still down behind the net. Back behind the net. And Dunn gets to it first. Gord gets to it. Larson behind the net. Kraken in control now. I'm usually the reason for the teams losing. If I don't watch, they do better. I feel that. I've watched a lot of Mariners over the last 20 years, and we know how that's gone. And I've watched every Kraken game so far, and we also know how that's gone. Oh, we can. Okay. Oh, keep it in. Oh, darn. All right, so Kraken regrouping here. Then Appleton will send it in. Does Kraken get a change here? Yep. All right, Seattle getting a change. A lot of guys slipping on this game. Starting to look a bit like a public skate out there in some ways. Ooh, McCormick tried to get one in front of the net. Gio shot. Oh, Huso. Donskoy pass. McCormick shot. Out of play. All right, where are we at? I'm back. All right, welcome back, Sean. For how much work they put into these mobile game apps, you'd think they'd make it much more work into a decent mobile game. Yeah, I definitely played some mobile games like back in high school when, you know, it was more fun to play mobile games than take notes, and college as well a little bit, to be honest. But yeah, I don't know when the last time I played a mobile game was. I guess that's not entirely true. I have played TFT and League of Legends on mobile a couple of times, but other than that. Oh, nice pass. Oh, almost a nice pass. It's kind of an awkward break the Kraken had there. Who are your favorite hockey players ever, famous or lesser known? Oh, whoo. Oh, how did that stay out? I don't know if that was just the angle the camera was out. I don't know how that stayed out. Maybe that second one didn't even end up getting to the net, but the angle the cameras had, it was going right at the net. It was wide open there, too. And the Blues are definitely pressing pretty hard right here. Doesn't seem like there's been that many shots. Oh. Wish we would get like a shot on goal counter. Nice stick. Larson? Yeah, it's Larson. In for Eberle behind the... Ooh, nice hit by Wimberg, but there's no one else there for Seattle to pick it up. What is Krug doing? All right, they're going for a change. Goes off a... Oh, good play there from Donato. Good back checking to make sure that puck stays in Seattle hands. Soucy will chip it in. See if Donato can get to that first, or maybe Appleton. Nope, Kyrou. All right, 3-on-2. Shoot, saved. Rebound shot. Couldn't get it. Oh, woo. Oh, here. They still got it. Stay on him. Nice. Oh, do we got a penalty? Yeah, delayed penalty, it looks like. All right, looks like they're going to get... Blues are going to get a power play here, it looks like. They got Drieger for tripping? Drieger is also confused by that. Huh. So Dunn's going to the box to serve the penalty. I mean, he's just shoveling the puck around behind the net, and the guy skates into his stick. Seems pretty incidental to me, but whatever. There we go. Go, Yarncroke. Go, Yarncroke. Go. Go, Yarncroke. Go, Yarncroke. Go. Pull it up. Pass it back. There you go. Waste that time. Gord goes to hound him. Oh, yeah. Missed that pass. There we go. Back into behind the net of the Blues. Good kill so far. Sorry, as far as who favorite players, famous or more well known. I mean, for most of the time when I was like, especially growing up watching the Canucks, again, I would say as far as players that I watched actually play live, it would have to be the Sedins. Were definitely my favorite to watch. From hockey anyway. Obviously, again, being an Avalanche fan over the last few years, McKinnon has been pretty fun to watch. Makar now is fun to watch, though. You know, again, not when he's playing against the Kraken. Oh, that was a sequence by the Blues. A Kraken are just like all the defense just kind of got sucked into the net right next to Drieger. That was just like chaos. They didn't know what was going on. They just get all sucked into the net, desperately just trying to make sure no one could like pick up a rebound in front of it. Oh man. Good save there by Drieger. So shots on goal are 17 for Seattle, 12 for the Blues. So the Kraken definitely doing better at limiting the shots on goal early in this game, which they, over the last couple of games, were letting up a lot of shots, especially in the first period and a half. I guess in the Colorado game, more of the shots came in the third because the Avalanche were down and pressing, but excuse me. There we go. Oh, what up, Emerald City Hockey? I'm assuming that's probably RJ, but RJ and Dylan, what's up, guys? Hopefully the Kraken have better luck than in our streamed. Wait, which game did you guys stream this month? It's probably, let's see, if they didn't have a lot of luck. I would probably Vancouver, I'm assuming. I actually didn't see which one you guys streamed. Sorry about that. Although, unless maybe it was your Patreon stream. But good to see the Emerald City Hockey guys in here. So far, so good in this one. Up 1-0. So far, so good. Kraken fans, so far, so good. Oh, and I've got to get this changed to the second period. I always forget to do that. Always forget to do that. We're not in the first period anymore. Thank goodness. Actually, the first period went well for the Kraken this time, so maybe we do still want to be in the first period. All right, there we go. Changed over. I just gotta. Okay, it's already transitioned. Sweet. Colorado. Okay. Not a bad game, but still didn't get a W. Yeah, I mean, it could have been worse games, right? The Kraken at least had a lead going in that game for a while. Looked like it was going to be a fun one until the third period happened. I feel like yeah, I don't know which one of it would have been worse between Vancouver and Dallas. Neither one of those games really seemed like the Kraken were going to get either one of them. They haven't played a lot of games since Christmas break. See, they played those 3. Oh, now Dunn's in the box. So another power play for the Blues. So Dunn gets out of the box after serving the penalty for the Drieger call, and then goes right back into the box for a high sticking. So Dunn spending a lot of time over in the over on that glass case of emotion. What did I study in college? All sorts of things. Took me a long time to pick a major, but I ended up going with basically the closest thing I could find to stats. But yeah, I tried all sorts of things. I pretty much just knew I didn't want to do English or history, and that's pretty much where I started, and then tried all sorts of different things from there. All right. Oh, get to it. Yeah. Clear it. Sweet. Oh, Gord going to go challenge on the forecheck. Oh, he almost got it. Oh, stick. Oh, yeah, keep it out. All right. Blues get to it first, but that's all right. Kill a little bit more time. Get to it, Larson. Get to it. Shan, clear it. Yanni Gord, get. Oh, good. Look at this. Oh, Donskoy on the change. Oh, no. Oh, I thought that was going to be it. Just imagine Donskoy gets his first goal on a change shorthanded. Oh. Oh, I thought that was going to be it. Darn it. Come on, guys. Don't give up a goal after that. Ooh. 13 seconds left. Come on, guys. Kill it off. Let's see. 5 seconds. They get one more shot. 2-1. Power play's over. So Dunn will be back out there. There he is. Nice stick. Who was that? I think Donskoy got a stick on that, a crossing pass. Oh, good kill. Definitely a couple of chances there for the Blues. But, man, I thought Donskoy was going to have that one. Am I a sports statistician? Not as much as some people. Like, again, I follow baseball enough to know that there's some like real stats nerds out there, and I'm not quite to that level, but I definitely I follow stats, and I definitely put a lot of value in stats that I understand. So yeah, I think for the most part, I think stats tell you a pretty good story, especially in baseball. Like baseball, baseball's pretty easy to put stats to and find the value using stats. Hockey's a little harder because it's a free-flowing game, and there's so much more variability with, in baseball, it pretty much all boils down to a pitcher and a batter. So it's, when hockey, you've got 2 goalies and then 10 guys skating around at any given point at any given time, pretty much. There's just a lot more variability that's hard to account for statistically, so... But yeah, I still like I love stats, and especially like you go back in history and look at goal stats and stuff like that. Even if they don't tell the full story, they get you enough to enjoy. So not like some of the guys you might see on Twitter that have, like, I don't have my own war algorithm or my own like predictive modeling for what teams are, how different teams are going to perform every year or anything like that. So not quite to that level, but I do like looking at those things. Definitely, like, I've got Natural Stat Trick pulled up right now. Money Puck's always fun to look at. So more an appreciation for stats than like creating my own, if you know what I mean. So when will Donskoy get his goal? I will say, like, I kind of thought it was going to happen against Colorado, especially when things were going Seattle's way. It's like, oh man, when more perfect for it to happen than when they're playing Colorado in Colorado. Didn't happen then, obviously, and then that one, man, again, off of a change, shorthanded on a breakaway. I was like, oh, this has got to be it. A shorthanded off the change opportunity. This has got to be Donskoy's goal, and still didn't get it. So far, all he has is that one shootout goal, which doesn't count on the stat sheet. Oh, showing pictures of JT Brown. Who was he with? It was JT Brown and someone. Oh, Justin Falk. Didn't know JT Brown and Justin Falk were such good friends, but apparently they are. Neat. Oh, unfortunate bounce. That's okay. Good. Good defense there from Wimberg and Larson. Oh, there we go. Bit of a breakaway. 3-on-2. Ah, not a great pass. Ooh, Appleton got a bit of a tip there, but Husso got enough of it. All right, tonight hopefully, I'd love to see Don. You know what? Whenever Donskoy gets it, I swear, like it's got to be some kind of meaningful goal, right? Like it's either going to be like a game-winning goal, or he's going to get like a hat trick or something in the first game he scores in. It always seems like that's the kind of thing that happens. Probably not though. It'll probably be like a oh well, there's Blues are going to get another power play now. Definitely giving the Blues plenty of chances to tie it up here in the second. I'm gonna move this chair. It's kind of weirdly just sitting there. I just realized that. I guess all watch me like draw attention to it and pull it off the screen. Off the screen. There we go. Nope, it's Gio to the box again. His second time. So it's just Gio and Dunn trading chances in the box. Although one of the times Dunn went to the box was actually Drieger's penalty, but still. All right. All right, good job. No rebound allowed. Good save there by Drieger. Yeah, Drieger's definitely doing well tonight. Obviously, the 0 on the scoreboard indicates that. The defense in front of him, though, is not giving up a ton of great chances. That was actually one of the better scoring chances the Blues have had tonight, outside of the one at the end of the power play where they missed the net entirely. They've missed the net a couple of times on pretty good chances, which helps out for sure. Couple missed chances on good shots, or couple missed shots on good chances, I should say, and good defense in front definitely helps. But Drieger's played well tonight so far. Knock on wood, that continues. Oh, he fan on the one-timer. Gord didn't get it all the way out. I mean, he got it all the way out of the defensive zone. He just couldn't clear it all the way to the end. All right, halfway over on the power play. Let's kill off the second half now. Oh, there we go. It's not going to get out. There we go. Challenge him. Alexiak, Cheyenne challenging Alexiak. Alexiak got to it. Get it out, Zusi. Get it out. Not out. Damn. Darn. Sorry. Trying to keep it clean. Oh, nice save. Drieger kind of just... Drieger didn't have to move for that one. Just took it off the chest and just... Oh, a little too much on that pass. 10 seconds left. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. 10 seconds. Kill it off again. 5 seconds. One more shot. Oh, what the heck happened there? Did he catch that with a blocker?
That was a long shift for three of Seattle's penalty killers out there. Pucks weren't able to go all 200 feet. You couldn't get the line change. It's a good chance from Thomas right there in the slot.
Let's see what happened with this puck.
Pop play, jumps right back into the slot. Drieger's able to make the save.
Oh yeah, it got stuck in between. He caught it with the blocker hand. It got stuck between the blocker and the stick. That's kind of funny. Alrighty. Oh, when will I be in the press bridge? Sorry, I missed that. RJ. When will I be in the press bridge next? I applied for what did I applied for the game on the 21st, and so I'll be on the game on Thursday against. Oh shoot, who are they playing? I think that might be the home game against the Blues. I'll be at that game, but in the crowd, and then I think it's the 21st, the second half of that back-to-back. I applied for that one, and then the game on the 25th. I haven't heard back from them yet, so we'll see. I applied for a couple of the ones that got delayed, so yeah, I applied for 4 this month just because I've got a vacation coming up here in a week, going behind enemy lines into the Great White North, doing some skiing. So we're gonna have one of the Kraken R&Rs. The Kraken R&R against Chicago is gonna be a one taker and probably gonna be a bit of a mess. Just to warn you guys right out front, it's gonna be a one taker in a hotel up in Canada. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'll be back after that, and then yeah, hopefully the 21st, which is again, I can't remember who the games are against. But 21st and 25th, I think, are the next 2 that I have applied for. But yeah, I can't believe it's been a month since we were up in the press bridge for those last couple of games against Winnipeg and the Blue Jackets. That's still definitely like the coolest thing to. I mean, I shouldn't say there's a lot of cool things that have come from this channel in the last year that I was not by any means expecting to have happen, and getting to be in the press bridge and post game conferences is definitely, yeah, never thought I'd be there for sure. I know RJ feels the same way, so, but you know what? Right opportunities at the right time, and do everything we can to take advantage of them, and the team has been great about it, so it's been awesome.
Part of the management staff here in St. Louis, led by Doug Armstrong, the GM. Drieger says no. The shot taken by Robert Fortuzo.
Spending the entire second period on the penalty kill against one of the best power plays is not a recipe for success, but somehow holding up. That's a pretty good synopsis. Apparently I can't say that word. Synopsis of the second period so far, yep. Just daring the Blues to take the lead and then stopping them from doing it. Uh-oh, there's a turnover. You don't want to turn it over to Ryan O'Reilly. That's definitely a guy you don't want to turn it over to. Not been the best second period for the Kraken in their first season here. Or I guess you could say in their entire history. Oh, Donato looking for another wraparound. Donato loves his wraparounds. Thank you. The wife dropping off some dinner for the stream ends. Probably won't. I won't eat on stream. Don't worry, guys. You don't have to watch that. But all right. There we go. Kraken at least got a little bit of time in the offensive zone this period. Still 4.5 minutes left. Get an icing on the Blues, so we'll get a little bit more time in the offensive zone. So there you go. See, if you enjoy stats, Secret Base is fantastic. Absolutely, I love like. I feel like I know that guy. It's like someone I knew from college. Probably not. Probably just someone that looks like him, but I never know. Could have ended up in St. Louis. I'm surprised my wife hasn't been on stream. I think she's like snuck in a couple of times, but yeah, she hasn't like actually been. Someday we'll make it work at some point. As for right now, we kind of need somebody watching the baby. He wouldn't do well on his own, and he wouldn't do well on the stream either. He's not ready for that. Yeah, the Blues definitely shutting down the Kraken attack pretty effectively. Although that having been said, the Kraken are doing the exact same the other way, so. Well, I thought this might be a low-scoring game, and so far it is panning out that way. Ooh, Gord couldn't quite get to it. Oh, I think Drieger would have had that if it was on goal, but that was definitely a good opportunity that was missed as well. All right, back around behind the goal. Gio to Lazan. Blackwell to someone. Oh, back to Blackwell. That was Wimberg. 2 minutes left in the second, just about. Oh, there's a little thing reminding us that Matty Beniers was named to the U.S. hockey team for the Olympics. So we won't get to see Grubauer in the Olympics. He was going to play for Team Germany, but we will get to see a Kraken player play for Team USA. How about that? Or a future Kraken player, I guess, play for Team USA. That'll be fun. I was thinking about doing like a R&Rs type thing for Team USA back when we were going to have an Olympic break. But, yeah, it's going to be... I don't think that's really going to work with the Kraken still playing games during the Olympics, which is certainly going to happen. We just don't know when that's going to be yet. Oh, what a save! Oh, and it stayed out again! Oh! McCann, beautiful feed out front to Eberle, and 2 nice saves there from Husso. Just over a minute left. And we got to have a penalty here. This one might be on the Blues. Might be. Yep. Unfortunately, this power play is going to get split up by the... It's going to be a power play split in half by the end of the period, which is usually something that benefits the penalty kill, but that's all right. Get a chance here to press at the end of the period, and at least means you get to open up the third with some momentum. So that's good.
Second power play for Seattle. Muckle shoot casino power play. The Kraken had 4 shots with their first opportunity.
Well, this isn't how you want to start a power play. That was almost a 3-on-2 chance. Ooh, a little bit out front for Appleton.
For Colin Blackwell. 40 seconds left in the period. Wenberg holding on to it. Up top for Dunn. To the outside.
So they're starting with the...
He'll locate the puck at some
Whoop.
point. He's got it now.
Blackwell lost it for a second there. That was a little awkward.
Scooped up by Husso.
Bit of an awkward moment there for Dunn. He's kind of smiling to himself, just like, whoops!
Up by the blue line. They don't want to overextend themselves. That allows
Hey, where'd the puck go?
time. He ends up getting a good shot from that. But now you're going to have a little bit of a change to get the next unit out. But it was still a good job from them.
Puck playing hide and seek from Blackwell along the boards there.
Get a shot off. Face off in that circle. Deep in St. Louis ice.
Sucks that Turbo got hurt. Yes, it does. Definitely does.
By Everly. Giordano. 19 seconds left in the period. Blocked in front by Folt.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the difference without Turbo in.
Justin Folt tries to pry it out.
11 seconds left in the period.
Bozak is double teamed.
7
7 seconds.
seconds left. Will the Kraken get off one more shot?
McCann all the way across by Everly.
Eberle, 2 seconds.
Handled by Husso.
And that'll kill off the... Yep. Alright, end of the period. Kraken have basically a minute of power play to start the third. But scoreless second period, so the Kraken still have a lead going into the third, and that is not a bad thing, especially considering the 3 penalties that they had to kill off. So, yeah, not bad. Donskoy just getting that, missing it by a toe. Oh wow, so Drieger did get back to make that save on that other one that we were talking about earlier. Wow. Okay. Big saves there from Drieger.
It's not just about getting ahead, but a constant grind. It's about knowing what you want and focusing on what
All right, let me give me just a second here. I'm going to transition this over to the third period before I forget. Eventually I'll figure out how to like have this thing happen automatically, but and I wish I could figure out some way to have the like game time up there, but I don't know how much that would. It would definitely help if there was a way to do it. I just don't know how I would make that happen. So eventually, but for now we'll do this.
What is an overpass? Come on.
Nobody wants more robot tests, but we could all
Here we go.
Reduce to live with the hideous curse. The whole
All right. What else we got here? Where's the puck? All right, 20 minutes left.
Hard work? Sure. Guesswork? No thanks. Because when you're on a mission, you want to get it right the first time. That's where the Home Depot comes in. With an app to rent and reserve the right tools with just a tap.
Anyone else not feeling safe with a 1-goal lead?
And with the ability
Yeah, it's definitely.
to look
I mean, it's not the safest lead you could have, but you know what? Again, I'd rather be the team with the 1-goal lead than being down 1-0. So
how doers get more done.
the banners I have are really nice. Yeah, got one for each of the 3 teams. If the Sonics come back, I'll have to get one for them as well. I mean, I suppose I could get a Sonics one. There's no reason not to have one, but I'd have to figure out how to respace it out if I did. So for now, we'll stick with the 3. The Seahawks one is as old as it looks. It's definitely an old one. Sorry, pull this thing back up. Make sure I'm not twitching my leg again, but make sure it's not shaking the camera. All right. Well, good stuff. We got a lead. Like I said, you know, this is just what we expected. The Kraken got a lead in the first period and then had kind of a down second period, just like we've come to expect from the Kraken, right? Good in the first and shaky in the second, but didn't give up a goal. Or maybe the opposite of that. Where the heck is Gizmondi? Is he in like? He looks like he's in some sort of restaurant, or like in a hotel lobby. Maybe he is in a hotel lobby. I don't know. They're all for. No real. Yeah, I don't think you really want Vucinovic shooting from that spot uncontested too many times, even if Drieger can see it clearly. I don't know. I do think that penalty kill got a little bit too sucked into the net, but you know what? It worked out, so not gonna complain too much. Storm are champions too, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the Storm are, as far as like success of the team, regardless of their size, the Storm are the best team in Seattle. But yeah, I mean, I pretty much just follow the three, the four major sports is pretty much what I follow, and I don't really follow the NBA that much, so it's pretty much just NHL, NBA, NFL, or NBA, NHL, NFL, MLB. Those are pretty much the three that I follow very closely, and NBA I follow a little bit. College football and basketball I both follow a little bit, but not much. So, and I check in on the Sounders like once or twice a year. If they get into the playoffs, then I don't really watch the games, but I'll check how they went. Yay, we winning! So far, so good. Yep. So far, so good. Third quarter hype. Appreciate the $5 donation. Yeah, third period hype. One more period, 20 minutes. 20 minutes for the Kraken to finish this off. Hopefully you get one more goal to make it feel a little bit more. It'd be nice if they could finish off this power play at the start of the period and get a second goal just so we have that little bit of extra buffer. You know, they do say that the 2-goal lead is the worst lead to have just because more of a superstition than anything else, but Blues fans catching on that they're on camera there. Appreciate the $5 dono. It's very nice. Hype up this third period. Oh man, we'll say the like I know they got to get their commercials in at some point, but the commercial breaks at the in between periods do seem pretty long. I know it's like if you're playing beer league hockey or whatever, like you the periods are like a minute long. You get like enough time to maybe sit on the bench for a second and drink a little extra water, and then it's right back to playing again. Which like wouldn't really work in the NHL with the pace of the game and how physical it is, but like sometimes these period like the breaks between periods seem like as long as a period itself as far as like beer league hockey is concerned. They are doing well. They are doing well. Yeah, they've played really well this game, especially defensively. Especially playing well defensively for sure. If I ever visit Japan, I would probably never leave. That's cool. This game seems to be flying by, flying today. Yeah, it's definitely been a quick one so far. Again, not a lot of scoring will do that. There have been a fair amount of penalties, which does slow it down a bit. I mean, the more whistles, the more it slows down the game. But yeah, no scoring always makes it go a little faster. Just the one goal so far. That Wenberg goal way back in the towards the end of the first period, but way back in the first period. It's the Donato trying a wraparound shot, rebounds out to Wenberg in the slot, and he got it in if you missed that first goal. So yeah, just like everyone drew it up coming into the third, that the Kraken would have a 1-0 lead from Wenberg. Just like everyone drew it up. Just kidding. I don't think there's a lot of people who thought Wenberg would be the only one that scored. But good to see it. Canucks lost, so that helps us. I guess, yeah. I mean, if the Kraken can go on a what would be a pretty insane run at this point, then yeah, that definitely helps. The Canucks are one of, well, every other team in the division that the Kraken have to catch up to at this point, but it's not impossible. So until they're mathematically eliminated, there's always the possibility. Well, it does kind of suck that the NHL isn't going to the Olympics, but at the same time, it'll be definitely fun to watch Beniers in the Olympics for Team USA. And for what it's worth, the Olympics that at least U.S. fans remember the most, the 1980 ones, was basically a team of college kids. So, hey, still be fun to watch. Feels like a whole NFL halftime each period. Yeah, it kind of does. Like it's not too far off that length. It might even I actually don't know what the exact length of the break in the NHL period is, but definitely feels pretty similar to an NFL halftime. You're right, and there are two of them, so it's twice as much. Although they definitely don't stop play for commercials as much in the NHL as they do in the NFL. So that's probably part of it. They got to get those ads in somewhere, and if it's not going to happen during the game, then do it during these intermissions. And you know what? If this is what it takes for them to have fewer commercials during the periods, is having more of them during the intermissions, then just get them all out of the way at once, right? Gives people a chance to go like do a chore or something around the house, eat some dinner, whatever. Take the longest bathroom break of your life, whatever it is, gives you a lot of chance to get up and stretch a little bit between periods. So Donskoy needs to score in the third. I think Donskoy would be happy scoring just about any time. But yeah, it'd be good to see Donskoy get one, or more than one. I'm fine with maybe a 1-period hat trick for Donskoy. How about that? That sounds like fun. Sadly, we are 11 points behind Vancouver. Yeah, Vancouver did go on that 8-game win streak, so it's not like it's impossible. They were looking worse than the Kraken were before that 8-game win streak that happened right after they fired their coach and GM. So, it's not impossible. My least favorite fan base in the NHL are Stars fan base, Maple Leafs, Canucks, and Canadiens. Interesting. I mean, I don't think too many people would disagree with like Maple Leafs and Canadiens just because those are the big ones. So, yeah, big fan bases also tend to draw the most ire. The bigger the fan base, the more haters it tends to have. So those two make sense. Canucks also definitely that's a pretty unique fan base that there's definitely a section of it that has a pretty distinct personality that tends to rub people the wrong way. Not all of them for sure. There's obviously the hockey guy's a Canucks fan, and he's probably as much the opposite of the stereotype of the Canucks fan base as you can be. So not all of them, but definitely out there. Yeah, Canucks had I think it was the 8 in a row right after Boudreau joined them. So they got a new coach and then immediately won 8 games. And Hackstall's not going to get fired. So if it takes firing a coach to win 8 games in a row, it's not going to happen. But slam down some curry. There you go. That sounds delicious.
Go hand in hand. With the Home Depot app, you'll pick it up in no time. You can pick up new skills.
I like our coach. I hope he's good.
One workshops.
Yeah, we'll see.
New power tools with a tap. Pick up the things you need.
I mean,
Convenient lockers. Or
it,
even pick them up right from your doorstep.
his coaching is definitely one of the things that people start to look at when you have a season like the Kraken, where like they don't look terrible on ice when they're playing, but then their record isn't good. And so usually when it's, when you have to find a scapegoat and there's not necessarily a super obvious one as far as the players are concerned, again, Grubauer would probably be the scapegoat that a lot of people go to. But when it's not super obvious, like when the team seems like they're playing well but still losing, that's usually when people start looking at the coach. And again, we'll see. He'll at least get part of next season at the very least. So hopefully Hackstall works out. Obviously, like, regardless of whether or not you think Hackstall's done a good job so far this season, I think we all are hoping that it works out, because if it does, that means he's done a good job, and that can only be a good thing for the team. So I don't hate the hockey guy. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people hate. It would be pretty hard to hate the hockey guy. It's pretty down to earth, straightforward guy. So not much to hate about the hockey guy. I think he's also a Stars fan, so it's kind of funny that it's like two of the fan bases you don't like. I think he's Stars, Canucks, Bruins are the 3 teams that he tends to like. So, and I'm not a fan of, if we're talking about fan bases that generally speaking I'm not a fan of, the Bruins are definitely one that I'm not a huge fan of. So.
Check in on the old checkups. You still charge for checkups? Oh, not just any checkups. We're talking prescriptions, referrals.
How's the game going? Who is more dominant? 5-on-5, it's been 5-on-5. It's been fairly even, slight edge to the Kraken, I would say. Or no, sorry, 5-on-5. Yeah, slightly even, but slight edge to the Blues. Kraken have had the chances the Kraken have created, I think, have been better than the ones the Blues have had, and they've put more of them on net than the Blues have. The Blues have missed some pretty good chances, just putting them wide or above the net. The Blues, though, have had 4 power plays, 3 of them in the second period already, and 0 for 4 so far. So that's really where the Kraken's strength has been defensively, and especially on the penalty kill, killing off 4 power plays already. So man, I still love Drieger's pads. Those are so nice. There's like tentacles in the eye on them. Oh, yeah, he barely got that toe back in time. Like, oh, it's coming. Shoot. Push. That was a close one.
So good on him. The big guy who hasn't played since December 30th at home against Calgary.
Hasn't played since December 30th, so it's been 2 weeks since he played last. Which, again, is part because the Kraken took most of that time off playing entirely because of postponements. So it's not like Grubauer's been playing 2 weeks of hockey. Nothing from Drieger. All right, what do we got here? McCann, 15 goals. Wow, McCann has the least time on ice with at least 15 goals. Averaging less than 16 minutes a game on ice with 15 goals, so not bad. Scoring pretty good rate. All right, here we go. Kraken get one more minute of this power play. And Blues win the face-off, so they'll kill off a little bit more of it for sure.
Mishandled by Drieger, look out. Out of the corner, Buchnevich out in front, off the stick of Drieger. Thomas. Scandella.
And that's...
Shot blocked in front. Thomas is on it. Robert Thomas pulls up.
There we go.
Seattle's Jordan Eberle.
Well, that's not how you'd want to start off the third period. It's giving up a couple of chances shorthanded.
Play goal last night, getting a splendid
All right, 30 seconds left on the power play. Let's at least get a shot off, guys. Come on.
by Scandella. And a sweet check by Fortuna.
Ah! That'll get cleared down. Kraken, 15 seconds left on the power play. They might get one more push.
Final push is possible for Seattle.
10 seconds left. Yeah, they're probably not getting another shot off. So this is probably just hang on to it. And
Colin Blackwell, cross corner. Falk is on it, right out. Barbashev.
all right, well, that didn't really go anywhere.
On the ice, Alex Wendell.
You're like kind of hoping that, again, it's you have a power play that's split by the intermission like that. It definitely helps the penalty kill, but especially with a minute left, you would have liked to see them at least use that to get momentum going into the start of the third here, but that kind of the Blues on the penalty kill kind of got more momentum and got definitely more shots. So, oh no.
It's a beautiful pass from Brandon Saad.
There it is. There goes the first shutout. I wasn't going to say it because I didn't want to jinx it, but Blues tie it, breaking the first shutout for the Kraken.
Transition. And this plays all on Saad. The patience. Larson does a good job laying down, trying to block that pass. Goes all the way behind.
How does that pass get through him?
To find Thomas for the one-timer off the backside, but really good patience. Wait till you get all the way around.
That pass like barely goes under his shins. That is, whew, a very fortunate pass, but a good pass. So
Early strike for a team that has been dominant at home. And Thomas
all right, well, back to a tie game. So
through the middle of the ice. Oleksiak rejects it. Krug lays it out to the center.
see if the Kraken can figure out how to get the lead back.
Falk out of the corner. Justin Falk. Moved along for Ryan O'Reilly. Out to center ice. Collected by Buchnevich. He'll play it off the boards, and Wenberg is back. He lost his edge, but he spots Oleksiak, who gets it out. Donato fishes for it. Robert Fortuzzo.
Well, that's a bummer.
Changing. Shots are 23 for the Kraken, 21 for the Blues. Fortuzzo moved in by Sundqvist.
If Drieger ends the streak, do you give him the next start? I mean, the next start is in 2 days, so maybe. I mean, maybe. I still feel like Grubauer probably starts the next game, but especially like if the Kraken do hold on to win this one, and especially if it's, you know, if Drieger doesn't give up another goal and continues to look strong, and the Kraken lose the next one with Grubauer back in net, then you probably give Drieger the next look, which would be, I think, the Chicago game. Oh, that was a big shot there that Drieger just saved. It's very close to starting this off the 2 straight St. Louis goals to start off the period.
right behind the net, or behind the goal line, sorry, and then Thomas right out in front, but you like how Drieger pushes out. He's confident. Thomas finds a spot right out at the top of the circle, but Drieger's out, cuts off a lot of that
Yeah, good positioning there by Drieger. He almost drifted a little bit too far off to one side, but got the save, so that's what matters.
Saad and Torrey Krug. Just about 3 minutes gone in this third period. Kraken come home and take on the LA Kings Saturday night, Climate Pledge Arena. Start at 6:30 here. Krug with a shot. It angles off a stick high off the glass. Falk moves up, rims it around. Here's Kyrie letting
Around the outside.
McCann to the corner. Thomas negated
Ooh,
by
good defense by Larson. McCann had the puck. McCann has the puck again.
McCann tries the other side.
McCann back to Dunn.
Anticipation by Justin Falk. Thomas in back of the goal.
Folk back. Blues got the puck back. That's not what you want.
Outside off Larson.
Not what you want.
Now McCann.
Here we go. McCann back with the puck, and the Kraken have control. They'll go for a change. Dunn holding it behind the net.
So do the Blues. Vince Dunn awaits for the completed change.
Kuzma. Oh, here we go.
Just about 4 minutes gone here in the third. Nico Mikula. An odd bounce out to center. James Neal. Tyler Bozak. A self pass. High slot with a shot blocked. Inside it goes. Right through the goal crease. Nathan Walker. And you see it careen all the way back. Seattle changes again. Justin Falk now.
Oh, Drieger designed them himself. That's cool.
Leadership core in St. Louis. Barbashev outside the line. Feeds it in. Drieger moves it. He turns it.
Oh, Drieger, that was dangerous.
Ryan O'Reilly thwarted by Wenberg and right back for Giordano.
There we go. Good defense, guys. Good defense. Good defense, boys. Icing? Okay, well. They're usually pretty on top of that. I didn't see it, but I'll believe it.
Another look at this pass. You see it from below. It goes underneath the right leg of a sliding Larson. Yep. You have Thomas right on that far side.
Yeah, I need to start controlling the puck in the zone. Yeah, this has not been the best possession game the Kraken have had, that's for sure. But you know what? They've played good enough defense to make up for it, and that's definitely helps. Axel, yeah, I mean, the Kraken definitely want Grubauer to work out because they paid him a whole heck of a lot of money to work out. And not that they didn't pay Drieger either, but yeah, they've got Grubauer locked up for quite a while for a fair chunk of change. So a lot invested in him working out. And the more time he can have behind the defense, then and the Blues will get another power play. I'm back, Batman 1. Good to know. This Blues power play is it's a pretty good power play, and don't know how many times you want to test it. Actually, let's check coming into this game. Where was the Blues power play? Let's see stats. Oh, they're just the second best power play unit in the NHL coming into this game. Okay, fun. Good to know. Good thing we're giving them this many chances. Worked out so far, though. You know what? Worked out so far. Oh, big save, Drieger. Oh, and then they score. Yeah, it was bound to happen eventually. You can't give the second best power play in the NHL 5 chances and expect it to work out every time.
Great save on the first one. You're asking him to make 2 grade A saves in a row right there, and he just wasn't able to get that done. That's a tough position to be in. Great save of Kyrou. Excellent one-touch pass by Barbashev for that guy, Pavel Buchnevich. Who has points now in 3 straight games.
Yep.
3 goals, 2 assists in that time period. It's dumped in. Costin goes down. Everly now. So a gut check for Seattle. Entering the period with a 1-goal lead. That's gone now. Move to the wall. Threaded all the way across for Justin Falk. You move in on Johansson.
All right, well, they got to figure out how to get one back now.
Get to it. They'll send it deep. Picked off by Seattle's Alexiak. Marcus Johansson. Shadowed by Sundquist.
It's always the third period. Actually, well. Oh! Alexiak had a pretty good chance just there. All right, couple chances for the Kraken. Yeah, I mean, the third period hasn't been great. I feel like it's usually the first period, but it's The Colorado third period didn't go great, and now this one definitely has not gone great so far. Uh,
Pretty good for Seattle. When you're talking about a response, getting the puck into the offensive zone, getting a good chance, but Russo was able to knock it aside.
yeah, I mean,
Just keep building off that. It's still just a one-shot game.
again, it's just you can't give a power play that good that many chances. I don't know that you can really like say that was. Can't really say that was. Certainly wasn't Drieger's fault. He made a very nice save, and then the rebound gets a pass and back in. So defensively, honestly, it was not terrible defense either. It was just good play by the Blues and too many chances on the power play. Great hands from Alexiak. Yeah, that was nice push there by the big rig. Yeah, they're showing Stars highlights of Alexiak when he's playing with the Stars. Obviously, last night when Seattle's back up against them, and it seemed like so many of the highlights were Alexiak like pushing the net. Oh, oh, Drieger. Drieger just saved it from being 3-0. Oh my goodness. Well, if the Kraken don't come back on this one, it's not going to be Drieger's fault. Wow. What a save.
Hard work, sure. Guesswork, no thank you. Because when you're on a mission,
He could be a middle six NHL forward if he wanted to be.
Home Depot comes in.
He would be exactly the Kraken's type of forward too, big and physical.
With convenient image search options. And with the ability to see how something looks in your space.
Yeah, it's like every like I was saying, every highlight it seemed like they were showing during that Dallas game was
The Home Depot app.
pretty much what we just saw Alexiak do there. Just that one didn't go in the net. Was him pushing down the slot with the puck, looking for rebounds and putting them in or whatever, pushing with the puck and handling it in. You don't see a lot of defensemen with amazing puck skills like puck handling skills that good, especially not big ones like Alexiak. So
Welcome to the next level. The all-new Lexus NX.
how do they not get a call penalty? I think that was Blackwell. I think he actually just lost an edge and went down. It did look like he got taken down live, but I'm pretty sure he just fell down. They showed it when they showed it again a little bit closer. Yeah, I think he just lost his edge or caught an edge and went down on his own. The refs definitely not trying to even out the penalties in this game, though. It's so far 5-2. Blues have 5 power plays, Kraken 2. So they haven't done much to even out the penalties. Which, again, I'd much rather they just call the game the way it's meant to be called if that's what's happening here. But
Patience sliding back, perfect timing, gets the glove, extend it out, and is able to catch that glove. Just a little bit of extra on there, Okay. With the left hand, bring it up and over just a little bit. Show a little bit of time.
Drieger giving a little extra flair, maybe.
Saves like that, you might as well. Enjoy it.
That was a very nice save.
Out in front, good defense by Carson Soucy. To the wall and back, it's Krug. Here to long, fielded by Jordan Kyrou, broken up by Oleksiak, out to center. On the gallop here is
McCann dumps it in.
John Porcelain, J.T. Brown, Piper Shaw. Here in St. Louis.
Yeah, the Kraken just can't transition into the offensive zone this game, it seems like.
Thomas, good defense by the Kraken. McCann.
McCann out to Johansson.
Johansson with Jordan Eberle.
He's going to drop it for Eberle. Shoot it, Eberle. Shoot it. Oh, I think he waited a little too long to shoot that. That's a tough angle to score on there. But we'll get a face-off in the Blues end, so that's not all bad.
Throughout this game, it's a drop pass from Johansson. Eberle waits,
Toe picked it. Yeah.
is able to get that shot off, but there's nobody in front. The rebound swallowed up. One last super bowl look at this save. Perfectly sauced puck into the glove with O'Reilly's attempt into the glove. What a save.
new fans, my partner with the sauce reference, that's an aerial pass.
Sauced it up.
And that one was right on the money. What a pass by Buchnevich. That is not an easy skill. Ryan O'Reilly laid out the center on cue. Buchnevich will clear it in.
Oh, need a little more offensive zone time. Let's go check out natural stat trick and see how this possession graph has been looking, because I feel like it's gonna look very, very Blues heavy. I'll let that refresh for a second. Oh, I guess it's actually been pretty back and forth. I guess, yeah, the second period, but this third period has been all Blues. Here, I'll put it up here. The third period is yeah, all Blues with those 2 goals. So that's certainly far from ideal. It's the Corsi graph there. Let's get this back onto the stream here. All right, just about half of the third period left. The Kraken need to get one back to at least get to overtime. And if this score does hold up, it's gonna feel real bad to have had that Colorado game and then this one both end up at not even going to overtime. If to lose both of these in regulation with how they played, that'd be pretty tough. Drieger gets another save on it. Well, if nothing else, the Kraken have definitely gotten good goaltending tonight. Statistically good goaltending, I should say. Oh, Oleksiak slow to get up in the corner there after, yeah, that was Drieger with the aggressive poke check there, kind of took both those guys out. Shoot it, Donskoy! Oh! Like, every time Donskoy has a decent shot attempt, you're just like, oh, this is going to be the one! Oh, Wenberg tried to get it, number 2 of the game. Looked for the pass first, but couldn't find one. We'll get to Susie. Get it to Susie. All right, Oleksiak's back in. That's good. Good pressure here by the Kraken. Not out. Oh, that'll be out, though. Good press. Oh, Drieger coming out to pass it up. They're going to catch him on a change. Someone was still slow getting out of the zone on the Kraken end, so they couldn't carry it in. That's annoying. That's why you hustle out of the zone even if you're going to a change. I don't know who that was, but... Kraken have more shots on goal, 28-26, but... Again, a lot of these Blues shots are coming on power plays, so... A little different. Did I see the video of Kodiak Black? Yeah. Kind of wish I hadn't, but sure did. That was definitely a thing that happened in Florida. Donskoy. He's going to get a goal eventually, I'm telling you. It's going to happen. Got another chance already in this one, so it's two chances for him so far this game. 2 pretty good scoring chances. I don't know if he missed that one or if it got deflected or blocked in front or what happened there, but... Kraken suck. It's embarrassing. Might be lucky to get 15 wins. I think 15 wins is a bit of a stretch to say they're not going to get 15 wins. They'll get at least 20, 25, but it's, yeah, not a lot. They'll get somewhere in the low 20s in wins. I mean, at the rate, literally at the pace they're going, that's what they're, going to get. Because they're not even halfway through the season already, so. They have. I know people have said it a lot, and people are getting tired of hearing it a bit. But they have played better than their record. Good job sealing up the side there by Drieger. Okay, come on, guys. There we go. Good rebound control, Wemberg. It was kind of a dangerous pass by Donato there, but hey. Oh, Donato, if he picks that up. It's like all these loose pucks are ending up on St. Louis sticks. Yeah. I will say some of the like super physical energy that the Kraken had early in the season is definitely missing without Tanev. The more I was just thinking about that for a second, and you can definitely tell that some of that energy that Tanev gave the team is gone without him. Oh, nice shot by Dunn. Would have been nice to see Dunn get a point in his revenge game. 6 minutes left, or just about. That's all right. Be nice. I'm not ready to say fire Hackstall yet, but you know what? Everyone's entitled to their opinion, and the way the season is going, it's okay to be frustrated about it. It's okay to be frustrated. And call icing on that. Okay. Glad to find some other Kraken fans and a Kraken fan from Illinois. Welcome. Whoa! That actually went off the post. It went off Drieger's shoulder and then off the crossbar and out. That was very close to going in. Oh! Oh, Donskoy almost just created another good chance for himself. That's I feel like we haven't seen that a lot from Donskoy in these last... I mean, again, the Kraken haven't played a lot in the last, 3 weeks, but I haven't seen as much of that from Donskoy recently. That fancy puck handling. Big shot from Gio, just bombing it on goal. Come on, Eberle. Oh, Eberle lost it. Oh, that would have been such a good opportunity. Oh, dang it. That was going to be a good chance. Just under 5 minutes left now. Kraken are down to the last few minutes to try and even this up. I'd imagine if they're going to pull Drieger, it'll probably happen with about 2 minutes left or whenever they can find a chance right in there. So Still a couple minutes away from that. See if maybe they can draw a penalty. Blues are winning a lot of these puck battles along the boards, which is not helping the Kraken's case at all. Oh, good stop. Good stop by Susie there. Keep it in. Come on, Blackwell, get it out there. Ah! I think Blackwell and Gore just got in each other's ways. 4 minutes left. All right, couple changes. Shots on goal, 29-27 in favor of the Kraken. There we go. Good job. Appleton is definitely one of the... I feel like Appleton is one of the better Kraken at winning those puck battles. There we go. Get a change. And then Appleton will go off on a change. Here comes Donskoy again. Come on, Donskoy. Come on, Donskoy. Ah! Couldn't have just let that one through, so come on. 3 minutes left. Donskoy got another shot on goal. He's getting shots. If that one had gone in, it definitely would have been a pretty soft goal, but it could be just what it takes for Donskoy is just one blunder by a goaltender and a soft goal goes in and the floodgates are opened. The tradition of Seattle teams giving fans heart attacks is continuing. Yeah, I mean, that's... The Kraken have played a lot of close games this season. And it's like, it's kind of hard to tell if you go back and look at like the final scores because of how empty net goals happen. So there's a lot of like 2-goal games that if you look at it is actually, it was a 1-goal game where an empty netter happens at the end. But yeah, that's definitely what's happening here. Another close one. Come on, Kraken. Let's get a W. Or at least to overtime. You know what? Let's at least get a point out of this, right? Really like to get an 11th win. Sitting on 10 wins for a while now. See, they were 10. Let's see if they've lost 7 in a row. They would have been like 10-14 and yeah, they would have been 10-14 and 5 at one point. Now they're 10-21 and 5. Or maybe it was, I think they got one of those was an overtime loss. So 10-14 and 4 or something like that. Now they're 10-13 and 4 maybe. I can't remember. 3 minutes left in this one though. Try and tie it up. Drieger again, probably start looking to pull Drieger here in a minute if they don't score. Good chance there. That was, I think, Gord up by the net. Two and a half minutes. So this is where we'll start looking for... Okay, so they are calling the penalty, so delayed penalty. Now just don't pull a cap. All right, so Seattle will get a power play to finish off the game, pretty much. It'll be 15 seconds after this power play is over unless they score. Well, so do they try to go 6-on-4 for 2 minutes? Do you try and go 6-on-4 for 2 minutes, or do you like take a okay, Drieger's in goal, so they're gonna start off with just a normal power play. I feel like if you get through the first minute of this, then you kind of have to try and go 6-on-4. Like if St. Louis kills off the first minute of this, you go to 6-on-4. I think, right? Oh, McCann shot goes wide, and that'll come out. Minute and a half. First 30 seconds of the power play are over. There goes Drieger. So, yep, they're going to 6-on-4. Come on, guys. 6-on-4. You got to get a goal here. Minute left on the power play. I feel like... I don't know how I feel about the dump in there, honestly. I feel like you got 6-on-4. Just figure out a way to control it into the zone. 50 seconds left on the power play. Oh, nice shot there. All right, 20 seconds left on the power play. So this is kind of their last push here. 10 seconds left on the power play. They're going to get one, maybe two more shots. Donskoy shot. Nope. That's not a good high chance shot. 15 seconds. Power play's over, so we're to 6-on-5. And that's it. They killed off a minute and a half of 6-on-4 to win it. It just looked like they looked so out of... I don't know. It just seemed like they got to 6-on-4, which makes sense, and then it just seemed like there was no plan other than dump it in and play along the boards, which it feels like if you have two extra guys, you got to figure out how to like get a play set up going into the zone. I don't know. I mean, you do have extra guys to win those board battles, which they were able to do, but well, that was not the most fun third period ever. Kind of like the Colorado game. Yeah, it's a disappointing end to that one for sure. So 8 straight losses now. 8 straight losses. Appreciate everyone for stopping in. We can hang out for a little bit longer if you guys got any questions. I'll go through chats here. Otherwise, I'll see you in the R&R, but get through a little bit more here. Kraken will end up like the Mariners, never... I mean, no. The big problem for the Mariners has been ownership. The Mariners have, like, until recently, the Mariners have never had ownership that really cared. So now they actually have an ownership that cares, and ownership makes a huge difference in professional sports. Huge difference. So that'll be the big thing I think here that's different for the Kraken is it's an ownership group that not only has said that they care and they want this team to be successful, but has actually done it and been successful in other places. So again, it's not even halfway through the first season. So to like I get that the Mariners are there to compare to, but the Mariners haven't been to the playoffs in 20 years, so let's not get too carried away with comparing a team that's not even played 40 games yet to a team that has not made the playoffs in 20 years. GG, Blues are a good team. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the Kraken won, like, just like the Avalanche game, the Kraken were in it pretty much all the way and just fell short in the third period. Yeah, it's a good team. Again, a very, very good home team, so it's not that it's like with both the Colorado game and giving up a 3-1 lead sucks, but it's not that either the Colorado game or the Blues this game against the Blues are like they're both the Kraken played well in both of them. It's just they add to the bigger picture of the Kraken just keep coming up short, which is it's definitely frustrating. Like it'll be one thing if they're like the Arizona Coyotes where they're gonna suck. The plan is for them to kind of suck, or if they were the Montreal Canadiens where you have all sorts of injuries and COVID issues, and you're basically playing an AHL team, and that's why they suck. Although, I guess with the Habs, they sucked right from the beginning, and that was a team that went to the Stanley Cup final last year. So that's a little. I mean, that would probably be just as frustrating, but yeah. Another frustrating end, for sure. For sure. Another frustrating end, for sure. Had fun. Glad to hear it, Riley. Yeah, I mean, first two periods were fun. Not most action we've ever seen in a game. Just couldn't get that good start to the third period. You start the third period with a minute of power play, and the Blues are somehow the team that captures the momentum and gets 2 goals to start the third, and it was pretty much a defensive game all night, so every goal made a big difference, and that's definitely what panned out here. Do I remember the MTV show Jackass? I do remember it. I didn't really watch a ton of it, but I remember it. It was funny. I would say it was funny at times and very cringy at other times, which I think was kind of the point of it, but anyway. Defense was defense was absolutely stifling again. The Blues and Stars both have very strong defensive teams, strong veteran defensive teams. I think they're pretty similar in that way. So yeah, it was going to be, especially for a team like the Kraken who have had their issues scoring in the first place, especially in the last couple months. Playing against teams like the Stars and Blues, they were never going to score a lot, and scoring more than 1 goal would certainly be nice, but management need to shake things up and fire someone or trade a player. Well, yeah, I mean, I think trade. So Ron Francis, the history with Ron Francis is he tends to trade guys much closer to the trade deadline. So if he's gonna sell, he'll do it closer to the trade deadline, which I think is in April. And that honestly is when you're probably going to get the best value, is March and April, because that's when teams really have an idea of the fact that we want to make a push for the playoffs. So March and April is when you're going to get the best value for a trade, usually. So it makes sense for him to wait. Obviously, the benefit to trading early is you take advantage of having more of a market to trade to, and teams haven't maybe met their needs elsewhere already. So it's not that trading early is bad, but I think it makes sense for him to wait a little bit to start trading. But we'll see. We'll see when that starts happening. Firing people, I don't think firing people is going to happen until middle of next season at the earliest. Unless there's like something like, controversial off ice happens, or Yeah, as far as like performance firing, I don't think there's going to be any kind of performance firing until at least midway next season would be the absolute earliest, and even then, I would be a little surprised. And it would be Hackstall. I think that would be the first to go. Maybe I don't know what the deal with the goalie coach is. Obviously, there's I don't know that you really want to use the goalie coach as a scapegoat when I don't know that switching goalie coaches is going to solve it. But again, the goaltending has been like, if you're not going to blame it on the defense, if you're going to say that the defense hasn't been the issue, and both goaltenders, other than obviously Drieger, played very well tonight, but any goaltender the Kraken have put in net has not played well this season for the vast majority of it. And so if you're going to say hasn't been the defense, then it has to be the goaltend coaching. So maybe they make a change there, but like Ron Francis isn't getting fired anytime soon. They're definitely going to give him a bit of runway to give him a few years to try and build this team. If it's like 5 years in and this team still doesn't look like they're going anywhere, then maybe you look like you mix it up a bit. Fire Francis, and I don't know that Hackstall makes it 5 years if the team still isn't really performing well, but I think GMs usually will have a little bit more of a leash, I feel like. Especially in Canada, not that Seattle's in Canada. Close to Canada, but not in it. Yeah, again, yeah, the Kraken played well against a good team. So it and it's really, I think it's been true of the vast majority of the Kraken losses. Again, there's a couple that stand out where this isn't true, but for the vast majority of their losses, they've been respectable close losses. The problem is just there's too many of them. So you can have all the respectable close losses you want, but at the end of the day, a loss is still a loss, especially when you have as many of them as the Kraken are starting to build up. So, yeah, 5 years better produced by two. Again, it's I don't fault people necessarily for wanting a short leash. Again, short leashes do work in some instances, but there's also something to be said for letting a vision get carried out. There have definitely been times where firing a GM or a head coach too early ends up imploding the team. If you, I mean, for the Mariners, for example, like Jerry DiPoto is the best GM the Mariners have certainly had in the last 20, 30 years. Maybe the best GM the Mariners have ever had, I think, at this point. But like and they hired him knowing that it was going to be a rebuild. So they were willing to give him some leash. But if DiPoto gets fired after 2 seasons of being bad, the Mariners are nowhere near they're nowhere near having the hope that they currently have of eventually actually being good. I don't know that there's a lot of other GMs that could revive a farm system from being one of the worst in baseball to being the best in baseball in like 5 years, while the team that's on the field is also not very good. So he managed to revive a farm system without many pieces to work with, and that's so again, Ron Francis is trying to build a team from literally nothing and a farm system. So to overreact and say that, it just is an overreaction to say that he needs to be fired within 40. We're not even 40 games in, not even halfway into the first season. Again, I'm not saying you can't be frustrated. There's plenty of reason. Now, I guess you could say 22 reasons with 22 losses that the Kraken have for fans to be frustrated with how the season started, but it's again okay to be frustrated, but I think worth taking a deep breath and looking at the bigger picture and giving it a little bit of time as well. It is still an expansion team, remember, just because the Golden Knights had a Cinderella story season their first year, this is still pretty much what an expansion team looks like. Just because Vegas like everything went Vegas's way to for them to have the team they had, and then for that team to way overperform in their first season, which the team overperforming in their first season allowed them to get some more value for more guys trading and that kind of stuff. So a lot, just everything went right for Vegas, and that, you can't expect that to happen again. And if you take Vegas out of the picture, Seattle looks like another expansion team. It kind of right there with the rest of them, better than a few of them. They already have as many wins as the Capitals had in their first season all the way through it, so it could definitely be a lot worse. Kraken are close enough to being good. Yeah, they are close. Like it seems like it's right there. Like it seems like it's within arm's reach in most games. It just doesn't. They just can't quite grab it. Just out of arm's reach. Building culture is the most important thing right now. Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. And obviously, winning helps. Winning helps to build a good culture, but winning is not the only thing when it comes to building a culture and an identity as a franchise. Again, Mariners are a perfect example of that. That's something that they've actually done with Dipoto, is start to build a bit of an identity and have a culture and a team that people actually, like, players actually enjoy being a part of and want to be a part of, which has not been true since the early 2000s. And they've been able to do that while still losing games. So you can still build that culture while not playing well. Kraken were picked to at least make the playoffs this year. It was a mixed bag. Personally, I had the Kraken in the playoffs. I had the Kraken as a fringe playoff team, making the playoffs because of how bad the Pacific was supposed to be. Obviously, the Kraken have been record-wise nowhere near as good as I thought they were going to be. And the Pacific Division in general has been better than I thought it was going to be. So, and most people. There were still a lot of, so I had the Kraken in the playoffs personally as a fringe playoff team, and again making it because of the division they were in, which a lot of people felt the same way. A lot of the analytics felt the same way. A lot of the stats people out there all kind of backed that up as well, that the Kraken looked like a 3 or 4 seed type of playoff, like in the division, 3 or 4 seed division playoff team. So, but that was definitely, it was a pretty split bag. There were plenty of people that didn't believe the Kraken were going to be a playoff team as well. So it wasn't by any means a unanimous, the Kraken are going to the playoffs kind of thing. It was kind of a, it's a team coming together. Ultimately, it's a team coming together for the first time. So people are figuring out what to think, and the stats said probably playoffs. A lot of people that were looking at the roster were saying probably not playoffs. So yeah, again, I understand the frustration, and it's not been what I expected as far as their record is concerned, but they've been fun to watch. A lot of the games do end in disappointing fashion, like tonight's did, but it's been fun to watch, and it's, I'd much rather, like I said in the R&R that was out today from the Dallas game, I'd much rather have a bad team to watch right now than have no team to watch, and that's, for the first season or even 2 seasons, I'm perfectly fine just riding that, enjoyment of actually having a hockey team, or at this point between Seahawks and Mariners seasons, having any team to watch. So, for the last 14 years, the end of Seahawks season and the beginning of Mariners season has been a void that you pretty much have to fill with, I don't know, watching for me, it was watching what I could of the Avalanche, or, if you're just sticking to Seattle sports, watching the Storm, or, again, I don't really know when the Sounders season starts. Soccer seems to do whatever the heck it wants. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. See where it goes. It's, again, still not even halfway through the first season, so there's plenty of time for them to have a fun winning streak at some point, and get this turned around. Every team goes through frustrating stretches, except for Vegas, I guess. They haven't really had that yet, but not everyone can get that lucky. Patience. I think patience is a good word there, yeah. Again, to yeah. I don't know. I mean, I can only say it so many times, but frustration is understandable, but it's still early, and patience is also a good thing to. Patience and perspective are both good as well. After a couple deep breaths and maybe a couple drinks, patience and perspective will help. Never ever once thought the Kraken were going to make the playoffs their first season, and I'm a Kraken fan. Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't have agreed with that at the beginning of the season, just because all sorts of reasons, and I made videos about that are out there. At the beginning of the season, again, just it was a lot because of how bad the Pacific was supposed to be, which hasn't really turned out. All three of the California teams I thought were going to be different versions of dumpster fires. The Kings maybe not quite as much. I thought the Kings the Kings were maybe a team that was on the rise but still on the outside of the playoffs. The Ducks I thought were going to be a total dumpster fire, and the Sharks looked like a complete mess off the ice, and a team that had already underperformed 2 years in a row. So I didn't really see that getting much better, and all three of those teams have massively overperformed expectations to this point in the season. So, didn't see that coming from any of those three. The Canucks also had a really bad start to their season and have kind of started to turn that around now. The Flames, I thought, especially after the year the Flames had last year and then losing their captain, I didn't see them being the second best team in the division at most points in the season. So it even at some points being the best team in the division. But hockey's unpredictable that way sometimes. Hope Kellenic shakes off whatever has messed up with his swing confidence. Go Ems. Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like towards the end of the season, it seemed like Kellenic was trying to get back to his old swing. So I think it was kind of something where he was just trying to figure out something to not have the end of the season be as much of a mess as the start of his season was. And hopefully the off season, he'll regroup, has a lot to learn from his first season in the bigs, and hopefully he can use that to bounce back and have a good year next year. Obviously the talent's there, so hopefully he just doesn't turn into another Dustin Ackley. Hopefully the Kraken make the playoffs. Hey, if the Kraken make the playoffs, it would be that would be a fun ride, right? It would be fun if the Kraken make the playoffs in any way, even if it'd be fun for them to be good right now and in a playoff spot at the moment. But if they're gonna barely make the playoffs, I think it would be a lot more fun to have them have this terrible start to the season and then go on some otherworldly run to end the year and somehow get into the playoffs. That's probably the most fun you could have. It's certainly not very likely at this point, but yeah. Still hope it happens, and it'll be very fun if it does. Might end up worse than the Coyotes. I don't think that's very likely at all. I mean, see, the Coyotes did just beat the Maple Leafs last night, but so the Coyotes beating the Maple Leafs last night was just the second time this season they'd won back-to-back games. So, I mean, let's just go look at standings right now. Let's see. Just go league-wide. Oh, this is the wrong league. Hold on. Here we go. So, yeah, here I'll put this on the... So, let's see. Standings-wise, the Kraken are still, above 3 teams. Definitely not great. Just above the Ottawa, though they do have... Ottawa has not played very many games. Well above the total dumpster fire that is the Montreal Canadiens. And, yeah, Arizona is not going anywhere anytime quick. I mean, Arizona's had their best run that they've had now in all season, and they still just went 3-6-1 in this last 10. So That still is better than the 1-7-2 the Kraken have in their last 10, but it's yeah, not great. Although the Kraken do have the longest losing streak right now, 8 games. So, still things to be frustrated about, but there's a middle ground there. Dreams, dreams, dreams. Don't be bitter. They're getting better every game. At times. There have definitely been times this season where they've looked better than they currently look. Like I said there during the third period, I think they really miss Tanev. It definitely shows offensively on the forecheck that their forecheck just hasn't had that same energy and physical and like the physical finish and energy that it had early on without Tanev. He is just one player, but any one of those guys, if you ask them, will say as much that he brought a lot of energy to that bench and to every one of the games. And there's something to be said about, you see a guy like Tanev go that fast, that hard into every hit number of times in the game. That's gonna hype it up, and that's gonna really amp up the adrenaline for every other guy on the bench. They see one guy do that, they want to go out there and do the same thing for their teammates. So yeah, I think they really miss Tanev more than it really would be able to show with any kind of like stats or anything like that. So Tanev missing is a big hurt for them right now, and it's also missing Schwartz definitely didn't help. Hasn't helped for the scoring for this team for the last few games, and that's not going to get any better for the next month because he's still going to be out for at least a month. So somehow we beat the Panthers, Lightning, Capitals, and Hurricanes. Don't forget the Hurricanes also in there. And they also beat the Wild early on in the season, when the Wild are sneakily one of the best teams in the NHL. Was something clicking at then that's gone, absent of Tanev and Schwartz? I'm right in thinking that Giro is underperforming as captain. Well, Gio is underperforming this year. There's no way around that. Gio has not had a good season by really any stretch of the imagination at all. Again, he's in his late 30s, so it was going to happen eventually. Unfortunately, his performance has fallen off this year with the Kraken. That doesn't really have a ton to do with being the captain. Being the captain has a lot to do with locker room presence, and the reason Gio is the captain is because of how much of a veteran presence and how long he's been in the league, and the fact that he's been a captain before certainly helped as well. So being the captain isn't all about just being the best player. There's some teams where that's a thing, like McDavid for the Oilers is pretty much the captain because he's their best player. But that's so being the captain sometimes in some cases is about being the best player, but it's not always. I mean, you can look at the Toronto Maple Leafs. Austin Matthews is their best player, no doubt about it. And he's not the captain. John Tavares is. And Tavares is a good player as well. And Gio was Gio, no one expected this out of Gio. Like, he is absolutely underperforming, but that doesn't really, I think, affect too much the captaincy. Someone that isn't performing well isn't likely to become captain, but you're not going to lose being the captain just because you're not performing well. It's that kind of thing. So, as far as what was clicking in those games, honestly, yeah, I think a lot of it is that those games were a combination of, they had good defense. That was the best stretch of consistent defense that we've seen this season, was in those games. Good goaltending. That was definitely the best stretch of linked together games of goaltending that we've seen all season from the Kraken, both from Grubauer and Drieger in those games. And then as well, just the energy offensively, that strong forecheck that really has been missing ever since Tanev went down, which, maybe isn't all Tanev missing, but the forechecking from the Kraken just hasn't been the same as it was early on in the season, and especially during that stretch. So, like, in this game, for example, they had good defense, they had good goaltending. Drieger played really well tonight. The offense, they were definitely getting out physicaled on offense. The the Blues were much more taking it to the Kraken than the other way around, and the forechecking just really wasn't there for Seattle. So yeah, that was kind of the piece of the puzzle that was missing tonight against the Blues. This game against the Blues was a lot like, I think in a lot of ways like that game against Tampa Bay during that stretch of games that they won against some of those top teams, where the defense and goaltending in that game against Tampa Bay were both, I thought, pretty good as well. They just couldn't get anything going on offense against just frankly a better team, and that's kind of what happened again here tonight. So yeah, I think that was just a stretch of games where they managed to put offense, defense, and goaltending together for a few games in a row, and they got 2 of the 3 tonight, just couldn't quite get that third one with the offense. So plus, again, giving up 5 power plays is not what you want to do against the second best power play unit in the NHL. Let's see. To tell you the truth, I don't think anyone on the Kraken has been performing up to capacity. I mean, capacity maybe not. Up to what's expected. McCann, I think McCann has been absolutely a bright spot from what we expected. Like, not that we didn't expect McCann to be... I think we looked at McCann coming into the season as definitely a top 6 guy. Maybe, you know, with them trying to figure out lines, maybe in and out of the top 6. But certainly not a leading scorer type of player. Eberle is one of the leading scorers. I don't think was necessarily super expected. A veteran player that again was among the leading scorers for the Islanders, so it's not like it's a massive surprise that Eberle's up there in goal and points production for the Kraken, but you know, he's I think been a little bit better than what was expected. So you could say that maybe he's playing about up to capacity. He hasn't scored a goal now in a few games, so on a little bit of a cold streak again there, but I think Eberle, McCann, and Donato as well. I would say Donato absolutely has been better than expected. Donato was a guy that was kind of like a depth forward signing. Like he's had talent, flashes of talent here and there, but just has never really been able to make an impact at the NHL level. So it's kind of like he one last chance at the NHL, and if he can't make it with the Kraken, then his NHL career is probably done, unless he ends up with like a tanking type of team like Arizona or Ottawa or that kind of thing. So as far as guys performing, how much they're performing above what was expected, Donato's probably the biggest one there. He's played really well for the Kraken again with it for a guy that was, I don't think there was much, if anything, expected from him when the Kraken signed him, other than just being a depth player, honestly. And he's turned into like a solid top 6 guy a lot of nights. So there are a few bright spots for the Kraken. Oleksiak, I think, has played pretty well as well this season, fairly consistently. Dunn as well. Again, with Dunn, he's had some defensive goofs, but that was kind of something we knew about his game coming in, was that he's an offensive defenseman and does make some mistakes on the defensive end, and that's pretty much we've gotten what we've expected out of Dunn, and he's a young guy, so develop into that. Geeky, I think, you know, again, a young guy with some promise that played really well early on in the season and has had flashes here and there, just consistency isn't quite there yet, so we'll see if that develops. Obviously, he's not playing tonight day to day. Didn't play the last 2 games because he was day to day. So we'll see when he, you know, what Geeky's future looks like. I think Geeky is a guy that we can expect to see with the Kraken for quite a while, as well as McCann, hopefully, and Dunn for that matter. Donato, we'll see. You know, he's a little bit older, but not a veteran player, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Anyway, we're at 8 o'clock now, so I think we'll start to wind down the stream here and call it for this one, to get the R&R recorded and have that out tomorrow. So appreciate everybody for coming in and watching this game. Again, kind of a bit of an opposite of what we've seen from the Kraken. A very good first period, which has not been something we've seen a lot of. Second period was, you know, strong back and forth. And third period, honestly played pretty well outside of the first like 5-6 minutes where they let up an early goal and then give up a fifth power play that bites them. So yeah, it doesn't end the way we would have liked, but the Kraken hang in there against one of the best teams in the NHL, and again the fourth best home team. So it was going to be a tough road trip coming in, and that's 3 losses that I think were, you know, obviously you would have liked to get at least 1 point or a win out of one of these 3 games, somehow get an upset in one of the 3, but just doesn't quite happen. They get close a couple of times, but can't quite manage to make it happen. So one last question here. Where's Fleury? Yeah, that's kind of something we've heard a little bit in like back circles in the like people that cover the Kraken. Is it seems like Fleury's kind of been getting surplaced by Borgen in that rotation at the third pair defenseman. There's kind of that rotation that's still Soucy, Lauzon, Borgen, and Fleury, and it seems like Fleury's kind of fallen as the 4th guy in that rotation. Borgen stepping up as kind of more the 3rd guy in that rotation. Personally, I'd still probably like to see... I mean, I think Borgen's absolutely earned the spot there that he's earned, but again, I'm not like a Lauzon hater or anything like that, but I still think that Fleury has deserved a little bit more of a shot than he's been given. He played really well early on in the season, and then he got sat for a couple of games while he was playing well, and since then really just has not been able to get back in the flow. And we do know that Fleury's pretty frustrated with the fact that he's not getting the playing time he feels like he deserves, which honestly I think is kind of fair. Like, any guy that's sitting is going to feel that way. You know, if you're on an NHL roster, you want to play, you don't want to be sitting. But I feel like Fleury has a reason to be frustrated with the situation right now. And as for why he's in the situation he's in, that's a coach's decision. Who really knows? Like, maybe the coaches see something in practice that they like more from the other guys, or game film. You know, again, Fleury hasn't been like a standout in a positive way necessarily in the last month or two for the Kraken, but I wouldn't say negative too often either. So anyway, again, very much appreciate all of you guys stopping in for the stream. Again, still trying to do this more often, trying to do this once every other week. It's going to happen mostly during away games because I'm going to most home games these days. So it'll just kind of depend on how the schedule pans out. But really, I mean, the reason we haven't had another one it had been about a month since the last stream, and most of the reason for that was just because there haven't been a lot of games in the last month, to be perfectly honest. It's been a lot of 7 games postponed in the last month. So yeah, we'll have more streams coming up. And February, again, 7 games that they have to make up. Those are probably going to happen in February if they want the playoffs to happen when they expect them to. So more streams to come, and we'll play it by ear. I'll try and get the word out a little bit sooner than like the day before. So I'll do better about trying to give you a little bit more notice as to when the streams are going to happen. So yeah. Until then, though, thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully I'll see you in the R&R. And until next time, stay safe out there. Keep being good to each other, even with the frustrating play of the Kraken, and go Kraken. All right. Later, everybody.